You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 14th, and things that are trending this hour. MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, he has said that the FBI seized his phone while he was at a Hardee's restaurant. Also trending, James Taylor. While inflation is raging, the market tanked, and you're struggling to pay your bills, our president threw an Inflation Reduction Act party, complete with James Taylor.
What did he play? Does it say?
Fire and Rain.
Oh, sure.
Of course, right?
You know, that is one of the most overrated songs.
Yeah.
James Taylor has like 30 songs that are better than Fire and Rain, and it's always Fire and Rain that you hear on the radio.
That's the one they rolled out for the Inflation Reduction Act party.
Going Carolina, Handyman, Mexico,
Sweet Baby James.
What is it? Steamroller Blues. All far superior.
All better than Fire and Rain. Finally trending. Oh, Rob, you're going to love this.
Oh.
The Mexican pizza from Taco Bell making its grand return today. It's available today for members of the Taco Bell Rewards program and for everyone starting on September 15th. In a tweet, Taco Bell promised the Mexican pizza is now, quote, back for good.
So that was the question, because didn't they have an issue last time with they sold out like immediately and people were enraged that they could not get this stupid little pizza?
Yep.
And it comes back to what we talk about all the time, Casey, which is when you are more passionate about access to a fast food pizza than you are your government, we have totally lost the republic.
Yeah.
Like, people should be way more passionate about the abuse of the government upon the citizenry than they are whether a pizza is in a Taco Bell.
Well, it's back, so you can at least be happy about that. It's 8 minutes after 9. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Thank you for joining us this morning. And after 26 years of being mayor of Carmel, Jim Brainerd announced yesterday he will not seek re-election. He said, I'm leaving public office, but I'm not retiring. I plan to seek new opportunities in the private sector. So he was first elected in 1996. He served 7 terms, and in that time, the city's population has more than doubled, and 144 roundabouts have been installed.
Okay, so people get obsessed with Carmel and the roundabouts, and I chose to lead the show off today with this because, look, Jim Brainerd, whether you like him or you don't, whether you agree with the approach Carmel has taken, which is essentially take on massive debt that future generations will be forced to pay to create this utopian-esque existence in which the government is involved in everything from pools to hotels and palladiums and all points in between, is an incredibly important figure. And it really is, Jim Brainerd and the city of Carmel really is a great debating point, which is what is the role of government? Because you drive through Carmel and there's no doubt you look at all this stuff and go, wow, this is super impressive. But is the role of government to create the stuff at a massive cost for the stuff in which future people who don't have a vote in it will have to pay back the stuff? And then the argument becomes, well, at some point when people have to pay back the stuff, will they want to move to Carmel? And if people, it's not a Ponzi scheme, but it's almost like a thing of you keep having other people pay for the stuff. How does that operate unless you continue to have mass influx and movement into the city of Carmel? I think it's a fascinating conversation. Here is a little bit of Jim Brainerd saying adios.
Thank you all for joining me today. I made the difficult decision not to seek re-election for mayor of Carmel in the 23 election cycle. I am leaving public office, but I will not be retiring. I plan to seek new opportunities in the private sector. I've often been asked to offer advice on matters of city design, development, sustainability, and livability, and I look forward to possibly helping other communities and business sectors learn from Carmel's success. As I look out at many of my friends here and others that have called me today, I want to express my enormous gratitude for having the opportunity and joy of serving Carmel for 27 years. Carmel is an excellent physical.
So, and he goes on and on and on, and it's just basically a big pat on the back for him and all that he's done.
Thankathon.
Well, so again, it comes back to, it is a fascinating conversation to have. Obviously, Carmel has incredibly restrictive design requirements, zoning regulations, et cetera. So that, to me, is the bigger part of the Brainerd conversation, is what should government be? What is the role of government? And how much do we actually applaud someone for doing stuff that other people will have to pay for? It's essentially a legalized dine and dash, right?
That goes to your property tax conversation, right?
So this is the other part of it. You always hear, well, Carmel has one of the lowest municipal property tax rates in the city, or in the entire state. Technically true by the city of Carmel standards, but people like Jim Brainerd and his buddies in the Carmel city government have been professional cheerleaders, basically, or at the very least have done nothing, while the Carmel school system has enacted one referendum after another. So when you pay your property tax, while technically Carmel has a city tax is lower, when you factor in the school tax, it's markedly higher than most communities, certainly ones who don't have school referendums.
Jim Brainer's term ends in 2023. He plans to continue living in Carmel and staying involved in the community. Carmel rated the best place to live in America by Money Magazine in 2012. It's 13 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey, and President Biden's nominee to serve as the judge on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals did not win the confirmation in the Senate. So 2 Democratic senators missed the vote, one from New Hampshire, one from Illinois. There was another senator that was missing, and we'll get to that in just a second. The public defender, Ariana Freeman, that's her name, her nomination to the appeals court failed by a vote of 47 to 50. Every Republican that was present voted against the nominee. If both absent Democrats had been present and voted yes, along with Chuck Schumer, who voted so that he could bring it back up, he voted no so that he could bring it back up because he knew he was going to lose, she would have been confirmed.
Okay, so there's a reason we are putting this, Casey.
Right. I'm trying to lay this out as best I can.
Yes.
So,
Because I'm about to lose my mind. So Casey's being the calm one, the calm before the storm.
Well, I had mentioned that 2 Democrat senators missed the vote. There was another senator who missed the vote as well.
I can't with this guy.
And when I was Googling the story and researching it to find out what was going on, I nearly put Duke of Spendingburg in the Google search.
Okay.
Wait a minute. They're not going to find him under that.
Okay, so there was this radical lunatic leftist who was nominated to the federal bench. And Ariana Freeman was her name. She's a former public defender. Her vote was yesterday. And it is to
be confirmed.
Yes, to be confirmed by the entire United States Senate. She made it out of the committee. It was deadlocked 11-11. She is a total lunatic leftist. And it is by sheer luck that she did not get confirmed to the federal bench, because Todd Young made the choice to skip his obligation to vote on your behalf to stop this lunatic leftist so he could go glad hand with Lockdown McGee and the Biden administration officials, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Commerce at Purdue. Mitch Daniels, for some reason, there as well. I guess Mitch Daniels, I thought he was supposed to be Mr. Anti-Government Spending, so that Todd Young could go promote the fact that he added tens of billions of dollars to the national debt to give a bunch of multi-billion-dollar companies your money to do semiconductors. So this is just, it is sheer luck these 2 Democrats missed this vote. There's no way when you do an event with the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Commerce, the head of Purdue, and the governor, that it's like, oh, we knew this. Let's quickly rush this together. They planned this well in advance. They had no idea who's going to be there, who wasn't going to be there. It is sheer luck because Todd Young totally abdicated his job as a United States Senator, which is to vote on your behalf, to go do let's face it, it is not a campaign event, but it is a campaign event to tell you how great it is that he added to inflation and added to the national debt and gave a bunch of multi-billion-dollar companies more of your money. I'm so mad about this.
So they were talking about ways to expand the semiconductor manufacturing, and Purdue is the largest engineering college, over 15,000 engineering students, and they're ranked among the top 5 in the U.S. So I can understand why they want all the semiconductor manufacturing research and development done at Purdue. But, as you mentioned, Todd Young, with his absence, nearly opened the road for this lefty judge to be confirmed.
It is sheer luck this woman did not get confirmed. Had the 2 Democrats been there, she would have been confirmed. It would have been all Todd Young's fault, and he does not care because it's campaign season. So instead of doing his job, which is voting and stopping these lunatic left judges from getting to the federal bench, he's out playing grab back with Lockdown McGee, trying to tell you how great he is because he added tens of billions of dollars to the federal debt. Everybody should be enraged by this. This dude totally basically walked off the job to do a glorified campaign event to tell you how great he is.
He was having a party at Purdue, kind of like how Biden was having his Inflation Reduction Act party
with this guy
yesterday. And we mentioned how James Taylor was the show opener for the Inflation Reduction Act party, and we're going to talk more about that and hear from the White House press secretary coming up. From 93 WIBC.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
And now we have a crash southbound 69 and 96th Street. Traffic absolutely soul-crushing.
When you need to get from here,
crashes on the east side, south side,
to there,
north side, crashes everywhere. An absolute car apocalypse today in the Circle City.
Matt Bear.
Delays, and when I say delays, I mean stop traffic continues to build.
Mornings and afternoons.
So you're going to want to change your reroute. In fact, I'll tell you right
93
now.
WIBC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today and it's all no charge. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Life is complicated. Choosing a healthcare provider doesn't have to be.
That's why I choose a nurse practitioner for my family's primary care.
My NP is accessible and takes the time to listen. I love my NP.
Our NP orders tests, makes the correct diagnoses, and prescribes the medications we need.
My name is David, and I choose an NP.
My name is Molly, and we choose NPs.
Consider an NP. Visit WeChooseNPs.org to learn more. When patients choose, patients win.
The biggest boat and RV sale of the year is back. 3 full days of year-end clearance pricing on new and used inventory. The 33rd Annual Fall Boat and RV Show. It's not a show, it's a sale. September 23rd through 25th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. After September 25th, these deals are gone forever. The 33rd Annual Fall Boat and RV Show. Buy your tickets online and save at indiesportshow.com. Another Renfro production.
America's leading internet provider just got even faster. Switch to Spectrum Internet, and you now get starting speeds of up to 300 megabits per second. Faster speeds for streaming, faster speeds for gaming, faster speeds for working or learning, all with 99.9% network reliability. So no matter what you do online, you can do it better, safer, and now even faster with Spectrum Internet. Visit Spectrum.com for details. Based on internet subscribers among top ISPs, speeds may vary. Restrictions apply.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Summer discounts on routine well and pump maintenance right now. Believe me, preventive maintenance works. Call C&J at 317-852-WELL or cjforwater.com.
The bidding wars are ending, and it's officially a buyer's market. So what are you waiting for? Ready to get pre-approved? Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
How can you listen to this wacko?
And Casey Daniels.
Yeah, baby.
On 93 WIBC.
How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Well, yesterday, Biden announced he was celebrating the signing of the Inflation Reduction Act. Even James Taylor was there to sing. He said exactly 4 weeks ago, I signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law. So today we're celebrating. What exactly is he celebrating? Inflation rose 8.3% in August. The price of gasoline still more expensive than when he took office. The price of groceries rose 13.5% in August, which is the highest it's been since 1979. Prices increased 0.1% in a 1 month period from July. Food prices climbed 0.7%. So, University of Pennsylvania Penn Wharton analyst found that the Inflation Reduction Act would only reduce annual inflation by 0.1 percentage points. So, Karine Jean-Pierre, White House press secretary, was asked about that. She was asked, how long will it take? What exactly would it do to reduce inflation in the short term?
I love this because, so this is your marquee thing, right? Like this is the marquee domestic agenda that the Democrats have passed. Mm-hmm. So you would think when you get asked a question, what will your marquee domestic agenda do? Mm-hmm. There would be an immediate ticking of items on how that will do what the name of your marquee domestic agenda would do.
They're having a party. They're celebrating about it.
And so she was a random, confused, probably accidental act of journalism breaking out yesterday. She was asked this very valid question of how the Inflation Reduction Act will reduce costs for Americans. And she gave a real solid answer. Take a listen.
What exactly would the Inflation Reduction Act do to reduce inflation in the short term?
So when you look at the lowering costs in particular for Americans, I think that's important when you think about how inflation has increased costs for Americans.
So what are they going to do?
So by real solid, I meant no answer at all.
None.
Sorry, I needed to be clearer on that.
So nothing. She's really turning the corner, Rob, on being just wholly bad to having my empathy. I feel like she's just so ill-equipped to be doing that job, or they're just completely letting her fall on the sword.
So then she gets, they continue this conversation about inflation. Obviously, the inflation numbers came out. They were much worse than expected. And I saw this piece of data yesterday, Casey, that blew my mind. Mm-hmm. Food is 13.5% higher than it was last year. Mm-hmm. So the average thing you buy at the grocery store, and obviously it varies by item, but the average thing you buy at the grocery store, your grocery bill is 13.5% higher than it was last year. And this woman calls that welcome moderation. Listen.
We saw some welcome moderation in the price increases for food at the grocery store. It's moderating, which is important.
I gotta. What is she talking about?
Casey, when you go to the grocery store, do you find as you go to whip out your credit card or $100 bills or however you're paying the tab that there's welcome to moderation?
Yeah.
At the grocery store?
Like, oh, wow, that's nice. Rob, I mean, this is crazy. Eggs are 39% higher than they were a year ago. Chicken is up 16%. Dairy, 38% with margarine. Butter, 24%. Flour, 23%. Crackers, 17%. Lunch meat. This is nice. Lunch meat, as the kids are back in school and we're packing lunches, 18% more for lunch meat. Oh, you want to be healthy? You want to eat fruits and vegetables? Okay, do that. You're paying 7% more. Lettuce, 15% more. That's some welcome moderation. I welcome that moderation. I can't help but be sarcastic at this point. They just lie to us constantly.
Can we take a break, and when we come back, can we discuss something that the Congress is doing that is the most Congress thing ever? And by what I mean is they can't solve any real problems, so they've invented a non-existent problem, and they're going to try to solve it and tell you how they solved the non-existent problem and how you should feel blessed that they solved the non-existent problem. Can we do that?
Yeah, it'll be a welcome moderation. We'll do that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Do you need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help. While others are talking about rising interest rates, we are lowering ours.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 3.75% fixed?
Don't get stuck paying the minimum payments on credit cards. The average homeowner has over $60,000 in equity. You deserve to put that cash to work for you.
Our average cash-out customer saves $904 a month. Call 317-706-GOLD for your free mortgage checkup.
Inflation shouldn't win. Our low mortgage rates and your equity make you the winner. And remember, if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Call 317-706-GOLD. Lock in your 3.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, every day is a beach day. And with 35 miles of pristine, sugary white sand, it's easy to see why. So let's grab the beach bag, the beach ball, and the boogie board. Let's pack the suits, the sunscreen, and the sunglasses. Take a dip in the emerald green waters of the Gulf, and then take in a breathtaking sunset at the end of the day. So let's make a beeline to the beach, and let's shine. Plan your next getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN.
Your Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Ready for some high-energy excitement and fun? Head to Jonesboro, Indiana, September 23rd through 25th for the Jonesboro River Rally. Amazing stunt bike riders, a cool bike show, fun field events, and a cool light show, and rockin' live bands all weekend long. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
saying goodbye for days. It's sunny and 62 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:31. The procession has started as mourners are lining up to pay their respects to Queen Elizabeth in London. Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Thousands of people have staked out spots on the mall outside Buckingham Palace and along the banks of the Thames, getting in place hours before the start of the coffin procession. The Queen's coffin will be taken past the mourners on a horse-drawn gun carriage, with King Charles III and other members of the royal family walking behind it. Then the Queen will lie in state for 4 days until her funeral on Monday. This evening, the public will begin filing past the coffin to pay their respects, which will go on 24 hours a day. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Americans are shelling out more for food, rent, and health care. This after the Consumer Price Index, a key measure of inflation, rose 0.1% in August despite predictions that it would be a slight decline. Groceries are expected to increase by up to 11% this year, with beef, poultry, eggs, and milk all leading the way. And now the stock report. We're back in the green after yesterday's big declines. The Dow is up 48 points to 31,260. The Nasdaq is up 40 points to 12,156, and the S&P 500 up 9 to 3,959. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This is the sound of someone taking a free test walk in personally fit arch supports at the Good Feet store. Music to our ears. Just like the words of Randy and Dennis, real customers who decided to give Good Feet arch supports a try with a free fitting and test walk.
In the morning, it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heel.
Working at an amusement park and being on my feet all day long, extreme pain every day. Trying so many different things over the counter, none of it worked.
When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was all about me.
She brought out these 2 little arch supports, tried them on, walked around the store with them, and immediately felt better. It's amazing.
Your day becomes better and the sun shines. It's a good life.
See how our trusted specialists in personally fit arch supports can help with foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Stop by the Good Feet store for a free fitting and test walk today. Your good life starts with Good Feet.
Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet stores in Indy.
BSN Sports is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Nothing more important to BSN than focusing on serving schools' needs. That's why BSN Sports and its partners, Nike and Under Armour, gave away more than $1 million last year to Indiana partner schools. Their local sales pros remove the hassles related to purchasing uniforms, equipment, spirit wear, and anything else your program needs. BSN can also help your business upgrade their look. Follow BSN on Twitter at BSN Sports_Indy. BSN Sports, at the heart of the game.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. Securely destroy electronic data. Visit tech-recyclers.com. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
So New York's Chuck Schumer has branded Republicans who are opposed to a gay marriage bill as MAGA extremists. Same-sex marriage is already legal in all 50 states after the Supreme Court overturned the 1996 Defense of Marriage Act. But Chuck Schumer wants to codify the bill. He needs 60 votes to overcome a filibuster to pass legislation, which means he needs 10 Republicans to help him out. Some are okay with it, some not, because they want to add an amendment protecting religious liberty.
Okay, so the government has no business in marriage whatsoever, period. A state government, a federal government, nothing. Gay marriage, straight marriage, whatever. Marriage is whatever people want to make. It's a legal contract amongst people that if they desire to include, as many people do, and rightfully so, a religious component to it, that is their business. It is no business of the government who you live with, who you leave your stuff to. The idea that the government rewards behavior in any shape, form, or fashion in the terms of benefits, tax benefits, whatever, it's all completely ridiculous. The government should not be rewarding, giving special benefits to selective behavior. And so the government has no business in marriage, period. But if the government is going to be in the marriage business, there is no reason for them to be doing this because there is no problem here. Gay marriage, just like straight marriage, is legal in all 50 states. There is not one state that I'm aware of that is currently challenging or trying to overturn actively with any sort of viable defense the marriage between people of the same sex or is getting anywhere in the court process. The Supreme Court has ruled that it is legal, that it's the law of the land. There has been one of the 9 Supreme Court justices. So I'm not exactly, a math whiz, but what is that, Casey? That's about 15% of the Supreme Court that has said it is worthy of a review. He didn't say, it should be overturned. He said it's worthy of a review. So it's not going to be overturned at the Supreme Court. So this is another example. Inflation out of control, government spending out of control, border out of control, healthcare costs out of control. I mean, there's a million different things here that are hurting people in this country, gas prices out of control. And yet, because they are incapable or unwilling to solve real problems, they try to divide people into camps, they being in this case the Democrats, and saying, oh my gosh, we must put a law forward that says gay marriage is allowed in this country, even though gay marriage is already allowed in this country. It is the most government thing ever. These people are, for the most part, in the United States Congress, totally incompetent buffoons. They can't solve any real problems. They lack the intestinal fortitude to solve real problems. So they invent problems and go, look at the problem we solved.
Right. It's unnecessary. And now they're going to rebrand it as GOP being anti-gay marriage. And that's not the case. Many of these Republicans, they're not anti-gay marriage. They just want an amendment put in this bill that Chuck Schumer is introducing to protect religious freedom, religious liberty. 9:37 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and Texas border officials seized more than 266 pounds of meth at the border. This was 2 days ago. And this from the Washington Post. I couldn't believe this. Nearly a third of illegal immigrants released during the early months of the Biden administration failed to show up for their required check-ins. And this from an inspector general's report said that Homeland Security is having a tough time tracking all of the people down that they let meander freely around the country.
Well, think about this case. So there's 2 million people have illegally crossed the border this year.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, just to try to put some perspective on this and how hard it would be to keep track of 2 million people. Imagine, let's say you run a company of 20 people. Let's say you run some small business in which you have 20 employees. And there are many people out there hearing our voices right now who run companies that have 20 or more employees. Imagine how hard it is to keep track of all of those people. And imagine if you had to keep track of them all the time, because clearly these people are in the country illegally. They're criminals. They have broken the law to get here. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say if a criminal is in this country illegally, you should keep track of them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Imagine trying to keep track of 20 people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now multiply that out by, I don't even know what the number is on that because I'm a product of the public education system. Yeah, whatever it is. It's impossible. And it's illogical to think that would happen. And that's because the Democrats don't want to keep track of these people. They want them in this country because they believe they will become the next generation. The children they have while they're here will become a reliable generation of Democrat voters dependent upon government service.
So the White House says Biden is doing a lot more than Trump did to secure the border. And in yesterday's briefing, Karine Jean-Pierre said that the Biden administration is taking, quote, unprecedented action to keep the border under control. Sure. And here's Texas's Governor Greg Abbott talking about it.
We have a broken border. By the way, Jesse, a border that before President Biden took office, we had the lowest number of illegal border crossings in decades. President Trump had solved this, and Biden decimated everything that President Trump had done to fix the border. This is Biden's fault, pure and simple.
Okay, so that's a bit of revisionist history. Illegal immigration was still a problem. It was not near the problem it is now. And it is ridiculous that in a country that has private individuals who are sending rockets into space, we can't come up with a way to ensure that people are not illegally entering this country.
Wasn't it our vice president who said, if we only had a law, something to make it legal for them? Before we get into break, let's talk about Stacey Abrams. So this is the Democrat from Georgia, and people are becoming more pessimistic about her chances of winning.
That's a shame.
By the way,
she would be great for this country. She really has a firm grasp on a whole bevy of issues, Casey.
She claims she never denied her loss in the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial election.
I do have one very affirmative statement to make. We won.
You refused to concede and say that you lost. Do you stand by that decision today?
Absolutely. The election was not fair. The process was not fair.
Was the election in Georgia statewide a free and fair election?
It was not a free and fair election. But will I say that this election was not tainted, was not a disinvestment and a disenfranchisement of thousands of voters? I will not say that.
You notably did not concede.
I did not.
Okay, you acknowledged that he won, but you did not concede.
Correct.
5 months later, do you still feel like your opponent won through voter suppression?
Yes. Georgia voters did not have their votes counted. They were not allowed to cast votes. They had their votes discarded. And it was not fair to those who filled out absentee ballots. And depending on the county you sent it to, it either was counted or not counted, assuming you received it in time. Brian Kemp oversaw for 8 years the systematic and systemic dismantling of our democracy. And that means there could not be free and fair elections in Georgia.
Okay, Casey. So I wanted everybody to hear this, because I am right now welcoming Stacey Abrams to the semi-fascist, democracy-hating, threat to America wing of society, because Biden told us...
You can't question elections.
If you question elections, that's what you are. So I first want to welcome Stacey Abrams, because she's doing...
That's a welcome moderation.
Yes, it's a little bipartisan, bipartisanship here, because... she's questioning almost all the things that we on the right question about the creative jelly bean counting that took place in various states in 2020. You've got issues with mail-in balloting. You've got issues with the execution of the election. You've got issues with the counting of the ballots. You've got issues with who was allowed to vote. Stacey Abrams is making the perfect case for exactly what we on the right have been talking about. And so I don't know if she's ever going to be in the greater central Indiana area, but if she is, I want to offer her a home here on the Kendall and Casey show and welcome her to the semi-fascist, democracy-hating threat to America part of society.
Okay, let me know when she'll be here. I'll make brownies. It's 9:43 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today and it's all no charge. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
From the beginning to the bell ringing and on to bigger, better things, Franciscan Health's cancer specialists in Indiana and Illinois provide care before, during, and beyond your treatment. We get to know you, your family, and sometimes even your pets. We are dedicated to fighting your cancer because your life matters. For advanced treatments, clinical trials, nurse navigators, and compassionate teams of experts who specialize in every cancer type, make an appointment at franciscanhealth.org/cancercare.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later, because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Crown Hill Funeral and Crown Hill Cemetery. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a special BOGO offer from Bosch. Buy a select Bosch 18-volt bare tool, get a battery free. Shop savings on all of our top pro items. Plus, MVPs earn up to 3 times bonus points on select products. Join today and redeem points for products designed to level up your business. Don't miss MVP's bonus days, happening now at Lowe's. Pricing and offers subject to change at any time. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any, valid through 9/23.
Come on, we're gonna be late to the cookout.
I was just packing up my famous mac and cheese.
I hope you packed the Pepto, too.
Huh?
Pepto-Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much. And after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs, you're gonna need it.
Barbecue ribs? I should probably pack an extra shirt, too.
Good call.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, let's talk about Twitter. Or rather, let's talk about a virtual private network, better known as a VPN. Protects your identity from browsing activity from hackers, businesses, government agencies. You use a VPN?
Do you use a what?
A VPN, a virtual private network.
What are you talking code here?
It's a way to secure all of your Googling.
Oh.
Yeah. Twitter's former security chief has painted Twitter as a data-grabbing behemoth that risks exploitation. Teenagers, thieves, and spies are looking to do bad things to you when you're online. His name is Peter Zatko, and he gave some testimony, and he said that Twitter was almost a decade behind cybersecurity standards.
Okay, so this guy was super interesting yesterday. And you know me, Casey. I know nothing about technology whatsoever. I get the little antivirus thing in the corner that says, your computer is secured. And I know not to click on links from people that I don't know. And so I'm there. But I enjoyed seeing part of this because it is really, this guy said the thing that I have been saying for years and years and years, which is technology is super dangerous because there is someone behind the technology, right? So you better, when you do something on the internet or with the internet or whatever, you better just assume like someone is watching you do it. And different people have different standards. If they knew someone was watching them do something, whether they would do it or not. And this guy basically said this. So Josh Hawley's a senator from Missouri, was asking him about who has access and what info they have from that access to Twitter. And he claims as many as 4,000 people have access to your information on Twitter. Listen.
Got it. And that means that these 4,000-ish employees would have had access to live user data all over Twitter. They could access individual users' personal information, including their live data. Have I got that right?
Yes, sir. If they so they would have access to the production environment. If they spent the time to meander around and look around, they would find that they could access these large troves of data,
including geolocation data. Did you testify to that earlier today?
I know that Twitter has IP locations and that they do use geolocation services based upon IP addresses.
Wow, 4,000 employees with access to that data. That's extraordinary. So those employees would be in a position then, if they wanted to get this information and dox Twitter users. Is that fair to say?
That is a concern of mine, sir, yes.
Wow. That's a significant concern. 4,000 people with the ability to dox individual users who pick up the phone and use Twitter.
Could tell everything about you, where you are.
But this shouldn't like surprise anyone, right? Like we as a society have given up in many ways any idea of privacy in exchange for convenience and comfort. because at the very least, and this should be of no surprise, how many times have we seen it, or you've probably seen it on Facebook, I know you use Instagram a whole lot, in which you'll be talking with someone about a product, and then
all of a sudden the ad pops
30
up.
minutes later in your time feed, the ad pops up. That's not accidental, right? I mean, someone has programmed that app, that device, that whatever, to do that. And somebody, it's just like at this company, there's technology people who, if something doesn't work, we call them and say, hey, Fred, remember the guy on air the other day who came in here and made the internet work? I guarantee that dude could hack my whole life, It's like
made the internet work.
He did it in 20 seconds. So it should not surprise anyone that they're in a company the size of Twitter, that there are massive amounts of people who will have access to your information.
So this guy who was testifying said that the executives do not fully understand Twitter security issues, and they don't have the incentives to fix them either. He's like, we don't know how it works. Kind of like what you just said, Rob, how somebody else came in here and made the internet work.
Yeah.
We don't know. And why should I fix it? In this situation with Twitter, it made me think, hey, maybe Trump was the lucky one for getting banned.
It's,
I've
told you, obviously for the past month and a half now or whatever it's been, I've had no applications on my phone of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So I have to log into my computer to post on those. And it has been a pleasurable experience.
To be disconnected.
I'm still doing the thing that is the premise of the app.
You're just not doing it on your phone.
Right. I'm getting the information that I want. So, at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, I posted a link to our live stream on YouTube, a few, 20 minutes ago or whatever it was. I could have done that on my phone. I could have done that here. And then I'm done.
I think the next time that you're logged into your phone, you should search something in Google.
Yeah.
And then let's see if it pops up as a banner ad.
Oh.
On something you're searching for
right.
later. Let's see how long it
All
takes.
right.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and let's talk about this former Trump campaign manager who's blasting the DOJ. So this guy served as the campaign manager for Trump in 2016, later ran his super PAC, and he had some words about the weaponization of the Department of Justice.
So Corey Lewandowski is his name, as many people have been longtime listeners to this show or shows on this time slot. Once cut a very fabulous endorsement of me as the world's greatest Trump fan at one point. And Corey Lewandowski actually ran the best version of the Trump campaign ever, which was the primary campaign in 2016. And that was before the establishment got their tentacles into Trump's campaign and then his presidency. And the best campaign was whatever it was, June of 2015 through June of 2016. That was Trump was a maniac and a madman. But Corey Lewandowski still lives on, and this, as you said, was him blasting the intimidation by the Department of Justice to Trump administration supporters and workers.
What we're seeing in this country is the politicalization of the Justice Department. What we know for sure is not only did they go after some of the senior members of the campaign, but some of the junior members, some of the 25 and 26-year-old staffers who are working in states like Ohio and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and battleground states. And the police knocked on their doors, showed them their badges and their guns, asked if they were the right people who worked on the Trump campaign, and then served them with a warrant as opposed to just calling them. This is the politicalization of the Justice Department. It is used to intimidate individuals. It is used to harass individuals. And this is something that we have never seen before in the United States of America, and I hope it comes to a rapid and quick close.
Mm-hmm. So he's not wrong. But it's not just limited to the DOJ. We're witnessing the weaponization of all of the federal government. The FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, the ATF, the KFC, the REM, the NXS, all of them.
Oh my gosh. The Democrats have put up a Diego Morales website, and it is the most fabulous thing ever. I have to send this to you during the break. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure we're going to get to that soon. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Innovation in cancer treatment doesn't just bring a new level of care. It brings a new level of hope. At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're providing access to even more potentially groundbreaking Phase 1 clinical trials to our communities. And any one of them could lead to the next big breakthrough. setting us all on a path to eliminating the disease once and for all. Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Hey guys, it's Robbie Raw. As an RN and health and fitness expert, I know that self-care from head to toe is so important for a healthy, fit lifestyle. One of my secrets for staying active, fit, and pain-free are my amazing art supports from the Good Feet store. It's not just about what shoes you wear, it's what's in them and how your body aligns from your feet on up. I'm telling you, these were a game changer for me. I am as active as ever, and I feel like myself again. If you have foot pain, knee, hip, or back pain, the first thing you should do is visit the Good Feet store for a free personalized fitting and test walk. I'm not going to stop living my best life anytime soon, nor should you. To be the best version of you, you need to take care of yourself, and the Good Feet store can make that happen. And by the way, when you feel great, you look great, and that's the raw truth. Learn more and find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com.
As a roofer, every second counts. Late deliveries and incomplete orders cost me time and money. That's why I partner with Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. With Beacon, I know my supplies will be delivered on time and complete. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Go to BECN.com to get started building with Beacon. Beacon, always building.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but you hate the paint? Well, do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Those who've built their own financial success know that moving forward requires not just the right tools, but an in-depth knowledge of how to use them. That's why Edelman Financial Engines gives you a dedicated wealth planner supported by a team of experts. We know a modern wealth planning relationship demands human insight powered by advanced technology. Our advice is tailor-made for your personal goals, and our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research. We model more than 38,000 securities, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. See what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines. Built for those who built themselves.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Chris Davis reports on one economist's perspective on the latest inflation numbers, plus what Indianapolis public schools are doing to going forward to be more efficient. And the Indy Fuel are moving, but not too far away, though. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Thousands will line up for hours to pay their respects. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Leaving Buckingham Palace for the last time, Queen Elizabeth's casket now arrives at Westminster Hall, the home of Parliament, after a procession including her son King Charles, grandsons Princes William and Harry, and other members of the royal family walking behind.
The Westminster Hall will be open to members of the public who will be allowed for 4 full days then to file past the Queen's coffin and pay their final respects to a woman who reigned over this country for 7 decades.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in London. Public viewing around the clock ends Monday morning ahead of the Queen's funeral. Republican Chuck Morris concedes his Senate primary in New Hampshire to his opponent Dan Bolduc. Democrats spent millions boosting Bullock's candidacy, figuring he'll be easier for incumbent Democrat Maggie Hassan to beat in November.
In New Hampshire's House primary race, there was a huge upset. Caroline Leavitt emerging the winner in a race that pitted two Trump staffers, Caroline Leavitt and Matt Mowers, against each other. Leavitt will face Congressman Chris Pappas in November, and if she wins, would be the youngest woman ever elected to Congress.
Fox's Hillary Vaughn. There's political disagreement among Republicans in the Senate about South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham's proposal for a national abortion ban after 15 weeks of pregnancy. He said in the past, leave it up to the states, and another state is going further with its ban.
A bill passed by the West Virginia legislature bans the majority of abortions in the state, with few exceptions. Abortions will still be allowed where the mother's life is at risk, if the fetus is non-viable, and certain cases of rape or incest. In cases of rape or incest, abortions must be done within the first 8 weeks of the pregnancy for adults and 14 weeks for minors.
Fox's Ryan Schmeltz. Jim Beam plans to increase its bourbon production in Kentucky with a $400 million expansion to be powered by renewable energy. The company says plant expansion in Boston, Kentucky will increase capacity and reduce greenhouse gas emission by 50%. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What stays and what gets better. It's 65 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. For Window Nation, here's what's trending at 10:02. When inflation finally does come down substantially, you'll see some prices go back to normal, but not everything. Chris Davis reports.
You might want to budget for some of these prices to stay high, says Ball State economist Mike Hicks, talking to Wish TV.
Things like really fresh meat, gasoline, and some basic foodstuffs like rice, corn, potatoes might come back down.
But he says about half of inflation will be here for the long haul. What you haven't seen yet is the full effect of gas prices coming down, he says. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A crash this morning involving 4 semis on an on-ramp on the south side. It was on the Harding Street ramp to westbound 465. State police saying no one was seriously hurt, but it did take a while to clean up. You hear sometimes about being able to choose where your kids go to school. The Indianapolis Public Schools plan to divide their district to make school choice happen.
In our new vision, our district will be divided into 4 zones, each of them roughly reflecting the district's diversity by race and income.
Superintendent Dr. Alicia Johnson says that the plan also includes repairing some schools, but consolidating and closing others. A man from Lafayette faces nearly a dozen charges in the murder of his girlfriend, Donnie Burgess.
Anthony Perez is accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend, Casey Lewis, in a Walmart parking lot back on September 4th. Police say Perez ran from the scene and was found 2 days later in Arkansas with his ankle monitor cut off. Security cameras put Perez and Lewis together at that Walmart just minutes before she was shot and killed. Perez faces several charges, including murder and kidnapping. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you've seen the Indy Fuel play, then you've probably seen them play at the State Fairgrounds Coliseum. Well, that'll change in 2024 and 25 for the seasons then. The team is moving to Fishers with a planned 8,500-seat arena and event center. The price tag on that project, $650 million. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, even if you're not a football fan, you're going to love halftime at Window Nation. Right now, score new windows for your home at half the price. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy with no payments until 2025. And at that rate, you could take it to the house, the whole house, and only pay for half.
Window Nation's professional team has drawn up this winning game plan to save you money now and for many seasons ahead. Their beautiful, energy-efficient windows are expertly fit to your home by the installers who average more than 15 years of experience. They've tackled over 250,000 projects and saved homeowners millions of dollars on energy bills alone. With another brutal winter on the way and energy costs continuing to skyrocket, these incredible savings couldn't come at a better time. But Window Nation's halftime is for a limited time. Make the call today and get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy and pay nothing until 2025. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 14th, and things that are trending this hour. Queen Elizabeth's coffin. It reached London yesterday. Today, it is being moved from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall, where it will lie in state for 4 days.
This is am I wrong? This is exhausting, right?
It's still going. It's still going.
It's going to like next week. The McCain thing was ridiculous. Remember when McCain died, and it was literally like the Lincoln funeral train, like a stop in every city, so you could pay your respect to this person. Like, this is just. It makes me dislike them even more.
Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to file past her coffin, which is lying in state for 4 days, and that will be a 24-hour line.
What do you think
constantly moving?
I'm sure we'll be able to see once because they're bringing it in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how close can you actually get to the coffin? Is there like a sign, please keep all hands off?
I think it's roped
coffin?
off. Yeah, I think it's roped off, and you just can walk by it.
So what are you seeing then? You're just...
The coffin. The Union Jack with flowers on it.
Do you think it's like the Declaration of Independence?
Mm-hmm.
It has long been rumored is not the real Declaration of Independence. Like when you go and see it, it's not. There were multiple ones made. It's not the. It is old. It is one of several, but it's not the one that is in some vault somewhere that only Nicolas Cage could get access to. Do you think the coffin is the same way? Like, would they actually risk putting the Queen's, if it's a closed casket, they would risk putting the Queen out there for the world to be like...
They've got security on it. You're questioning if she's in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she is.
Does that make me a terrible person that I question everything and that's my
No, I
initial
never
thought?
thought of that before. It's an interesting thought process you have there, Rob Kendall.
Like, are they telling these guys right now, like, just act like this is really heavy?
No, they're sweating. I think it is really heavy.
All right.
I think that's the real deal. They've got security there with that lying in state. Also trending this hour, Steph Curry. He says the White House turned him down. He offered to help get Brittany Griner out of Russia, and much like Dennis Rodman, White House said no. And finally, trending still this hour, just like last hour, the Mexican pizza making its return. Taco Bell says that it will be available today to Taco Bell Rewards program members and everyone else.
Have you had one of these?
September
Have you had
15th.
one of these? Have you ever had one of these?
Absolutely.
Is it worth this?
Worth the hype? It is one of my favorite items on the menu.
It is worth these people who were standing in line for drive-thrus for hours. I remember when it came back the last time. Kyle Wells, the producer for Hammer and Nigel.
Right, he had to eat it in 30 seconds or something.
And they went to like 9 Taco Bells to Kurt Darling shaking his head. Have you had one of these?
Yeah, he's had a
he's
had a Mexican pizza.
Have you had one of these, Kurt?
I have had one once. Don't get me wrong, I understand the hype because there's a whole bunch of things that people love depending on whether they get taken away or not, but I wasn't a fan of it, to be quite honest.
What?
It looked disgusting. When Kyle ate the one here, it looked disgusting.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not like a gourmet dish.
But you like it.
I do like it. I don't know, it's a texture thing. It's the taste. I didn't say it's good.
Okay, Kurt, real quick, Kurt, before we let you go.
Yeah.
Would you stand in line for 5 minutes again to get this thing? Like if they said at the end of this 5-minute line, there is a Taco Bell Mexican pizza which you must purchase, would you do that again?
I would do 5 minutes of my life, yeah. Now, if it was 20 minutes, no.
Okay, perfect.
There's a time limit on how good it is.
I don't get it. It looks utterly disgusting.
Have you ever had one?
No, it looked gross.
You've never had one?
No.
Oh.
You know what is on a pizza? Casey,
pepperoni.
There's marinara sauce of some sort. There's it does not look like it's not as beans and rice and whatever else is thrown into. That is not a pizza.
Do you eat Taco Bell ever? Is that not one of your places?
I have.
You have.
I have.
It's not a regular stop.
You don't keep looking like this for all these years if you're hanging out at the Taco Bell.
Well, we're gonna get you a Mexican pizza. There will be an eating. Okay. It's 10 minutes after 10. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Are we facing another big polling miss? Probably. That's according to The Hill. There was an op-ed in the paper They say it's important to remember that one of the great political mysteries of the past 8 years remains unsolved: the undercounting of Republican and overcounting of Democrat support in polls.
So we have been talking about this for months now, and it is coming true. You are starting to see whether it is in Georgia or Arizona, Pennsylvania, New Mexico now is the Republican is actually in the lead in a new poll in New Mexico, in which, what did we say, Casey? We said it doesn't matter what these polls say in June because they're designed not to get accuracy. They're designed to manipulate voter behavior until about 30 days out, and then they have to start paying attention because that's how they're judged in perpetuity and how they're judged until the next round of voting. And what have you seen over the last really 2 weeks? The polls have magically started to tighten. What were we told all summer? Oh, women are outraged over abortion. They're going to really punish these Republicans. And we said, it doesn't matter. The average person is not voting based on abortion. The average person is voting, as they always vote, based on the condition of the economy. Why did George W. Bush or why did John McCain lose to Barack Obama? Because the economy was porous in an election year before McCain and Obama were on the ballot. Why did Bill Clinton beat the first Bush? Because the economy went into a recession. Why did Trump largely beat Hillary? Some of it was people hated Hillary, but the Obama economy had not delivered on the promises made. The majority of the time, Trump's a little bit of an anomaly with Biden, but the people will vote based on the economy, and the economy stinks, and especially in midterms, they punish the party that is in power.
It's $1 billion industry, by the way.
Polling?
Yeah.
We should start doing some of that.
$1 billion industry.
We could just do like Tom McDermott did and just leave a candidate off the
right, and see how that plays out. The most wanted demographic is white men aged 25 to 44.
It's hard to do actual scientific polling for a variety of reasons. Number one, in the modern technology age, trying to find the people. It used to be everybody had a landline telephone, and you could look up and say, Ida May lives at this address, and she is 73 years old, and she is a reliable voter. She checks this box. Let's call this landline. We will talk to Ida May. Well, now the majority of people don't have landlines anymore. I don't know about you, Casey. I never answer a number I don't recognize on my phone. I'm as reliable of a voter, and I'm a split ticket voter, obviously. I vote all across the board. I would be the perfect person to poll, but yet I will never be in a poll because I'm never clicking a link that says click this thing on your cell phone and take this poll, or I will not answer my phone. So it's getting harder and harder to accurately sample the American public.
You know, I get those polls all the time on
You do,
my
and you
phone.
click the links.
I click, well, sometimes I do, but because of you, and I thought, okay, maybe this is something we can talk about during the Kendall and Casey show. I clicked the link last week, and the second question on the list, after they wanted me to identify male or female, the second question was, do you or someone in your household work for radio, television, or newspaper? I thought, I knew as soon as I was honest about it, they would say thank you.
What does your vote do? Our votes not count?
Well, I think, yeah, I don't know why that would matter.
My opinion of society doesn't change because I work at a radio station. My opinion is that all of these people, the vast majority of them in public office now, are wholly awful regardless of Republican or Democrat. I had that opinion before I started working at WIBC. In fact, that's a big reason they hired me.
Yeah, well, as soon as I answered honestly and said yes, a window popped up and said, thank you. We're moving
disqualified.
on. Yeah.
All right. So, Casey, I don't know if you know, but there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the Colts right now.
I've heard this, and it's so fortunate for us that we have an expert in the studio.
Yes, Jake Query of the very fabulous morning show on 107.5 The Fan is going to join us when we come back. We've got kicker drama. We've got Colts drama. And you know my opinion on this, Casey. I am forced to be a fan of the Indianapolis Colts because the government, by threat of force, takes my money to give it to Jim Irsay.
You're forced to be a fan.
We're all in this stew together. So when Jake will join us when we come back to find out what's going on with the Colts.
Sounds good. It's 93 WIBC.
Your Echo smart speaker has just gotten smarter. Ask Alexa to activate your WIBC News Flash Briefing skill.
Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing. From the WIBC mobile newsroom, this is local news for Indianapolis.
Gas Buddy says the statewide average.
Get the latest news updates on demand.
I'm John Herrick.
The administration should be going...
Leader, 93 Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
When you want your news in a flash, get it with no waiting with Alexa at 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz for Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com, the family-owned business in its second generation of taking care of the roofs of Indianapolis and all over central Indiana. They do full roof replacements, residential or commercial. You've got storm damage, you talk to Moss Roofing. And their financing, they've got a plan that works for everybody's budget. So yes, now is the time to get that roof taken care of. And if you need siding, they work with James Hardy Siding. We're talking about the low maintenance, fully painted, 15-year warranty on the finish, James Hardy Siding. When you go to sell your home, your house is going to be worth more money because you will have increased the value with James Hardy Siding. And it holds up better in the Indianapolis weather. Talk to the family at Moss Roofing today. 317-784-3227. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 784-3227. 784-3227 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
So we'll see you for Josh's birthday, right, Dad?
You can count on it.
This phone conversation would never have taken place without the technology of the new CapTel Caption phone. For those individuals who have difficulty hearing over the phone, the CapTel Caption phone simply displays what is being said on a bright, easy-to-read screen.
Josh, Grandpa's coming to your birthday party.
The new CapTel Caption phone from Relay, Indiana. Don't wait another minute. Visit RelayIndiana.com today.
When a nasty cold keeps you up all night, Vicks NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night that sounds like this into a night that sounds more like this. Ah, that's better. NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold, medicine. Use as directed.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Help B Window fight ovarian cancer. During September, B will donate up to 1% of sales to help fight ovarian cancer. This is Pam Faber, bwindow.com for symptoms and details.
Trust me. It's the Kendall and Casey Show with Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels.
I told you to see that you're in love with each other.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is 18 minutes after 10. Thank you for listening this morning. If you'd like to watch on YouTube, you can. Just type in Kendall and Casey, WIBC, into the YouTube search bar. Joining us in the studio right now, Jay Query from 107.5 The Fan. We're going to talk about the Colts.
So before we get into it, by the way, of course the morning show host, Kevin Aquari, weekdays 7 until 10 a.m. All right, so Jake, you have said this for a long time, and this is why we are kindred spirits. I'm totally right on the stadium deal. You had this opinion before it was even popular to have. Poor and middle-class people should not pay for a billionaire to have a free stadium.
Well, it's still not a popular opinion, probably, Rob, but and thanks for having me. And listen, I understand, and I know I will never forget when the Colts won the Super Bowl. I did not go down to Miami, and my mom actually called me like midway through the third quarter and was like, if they win the Super Bowl, I want you to drive me downtown and drive me around. And, you know, and I came down as a kid. My parents would drive me downtown to see the building of the RCA Dome. So I'm driving my mom downtown, and she's hanging out the window high-fiving people on Monument Circle. It was like 5 degrees below zero outside. And so I knew then what an NFL franchise can mean to a community, right? I get it. There's no doubt that it is an integral part of this community and the pride of Indianapolis, and it brings people together, and nothing unifies the masses like sports. I get it. Having said all of that, when they built Lucas Oil Stadium, we're talking about the highest public subsidy for a building for sports in the United States ever.
Yeah, the whole country.
Correct. So if you look at Dallas, America's team, New York City, market number 1, Phoenix, top 10 market, all three of those places built new stadiums for their team. Jerry Jones contributed like 60% towards Jerry World, as it's known in Dallas. New York City was entirely privately funded. So my point being here, the amount of tax dollars that went into Lucas Oil Stadium were double the amount of tax dollars that went into the Phoenix Stadium, Dallas Stadium, and New York City combined.
How did Irsay negotiate that deal? Were lawmakers just totally starry-eyed?
Here's the thing. It was brilliant on Jim Irsay's behalf, and I'll tell you how and why. And I get it. At that time, Bart Peterson was the mayor of Indianapolis, was terrified of being the mayor that was labeled as the one that lost the Colts.
Like a Lori Lightfoot with the Bears.
Right. Like, I'm not – like. But what's interesting is when the Colts were never going to leave here. They got involved in a poker game, and the city of Indianapolis folded and lost because they didn't want to. They blanked, and they didn't take the time to realize the Colts had nowhere to go because Los Angeles was open. LA didn't have a team. But when the Colts moved from Baltimore to Indianapolis in 1984, it was such an unpopular move amongst the NFL that the NFL then instituted a policy that no owner could move a franchise without 80% approval from fellow owners. So at that time, there were 31 other teams. So 25 teams that you needed 25 to say, this is a go, right? When Jim Irsay was negotiating for a new stadium for the Colts here, you had other markets, Minnesota, Phoenix, Cleveland, Cincinnati, that were all either lobbying to their taxpayers for a new stadium, or B, appropriate, funding for renovation of their current stadium. So my point being long-winded here is that there was no way that he was going to get approval from 25 other owners because there were too many of them that wanted LA vacant because that was also their bargaining chip. And nobody moved to LA until everybody had what they needed, and then they went, okay, now we're good. So the Rams and the Chargers, you can go to LA because everybody got their part of the hopper.
Jake Query is our guest, co-host of Kevin and Query, which you can hear 7 to 10 mornings on 107.5 The Fan. We're supposed to be talking about the kicker with the Colts, but this is way more interesting, Casey. I don't know.
More interesting.
It is. Listen, Rob, it's a topic to me that is fascinating. I love the city of Indianapolis. I love that people like you have a voice to be able to hold people accountable for the responsibility fiscally for the city of Indianapolis. So, look, I get it.
Why did we get a bad deal with this? Like, I maintain we got a terrible deal as taxpayers, and now I have to sit and watch and care whether this guy makes a field goal or not, because as a taxpayer, I'm part owner of the stadium.
That's fair. My thing has been this. Once we built it, once Lucas Oil Stadium was built, okay, fine. But things like, for example, the Indy 11, at no fault of the Indy 11 wants a stadium built with subsidy for it, right? And my answer to that is no. Nothing against the Indy 11 at all. But we were already told and sold that this was a multi-purpose venue that was going to be a one-size-fits-all, take care of all problems, $720 million tax dollars. And that's it, right?
So you're saying the Indy 11 should be playing at Lucas Oil?
Correct. And if people say, well, Lucas Oil's too big for them, sorry. I mean, that was the deal, though. When they came after my money and said, I said, well, you tell me why I should buy this. Well, it's a Swiss Army knife. It can do everything. Mm-hmm. We will never come to you for another tax dollar for a sports venue because this is the one-size-fits-all multi-purpose facility. That was the term I was multi-purpose facility. The Colts are just a tenant, multi-purpose facility. But 40% of every dollar for anything that takes place inside that stadium. You go to a concert there, you buy a ticket for $100, $40 right over to West 56th Street.
You made a great point because you were, in another lifetime, the morning show host in fact, you were the first morning show host when we went to FM. I'd forgotten about how all that time frame kind of went together. And you were saying, look, I think the opinion I have now, and we hear it from our audience, I think is becoming more and more a prevalent opinion, the one that you and I share, that poor and middle class people should not be funding the lifestyle of billionaires. But you were pointing out at the time when you had this same opinion 15 years ago, that was really controversial and a lot of people were against you. What's changed? Has society changed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think part of that, yeah. I think part of it also is that people realize, and I'd have to look back at the dispersity and where the tax dollars come from. I think there were a lot of people now. I think there has become a growing divide in this town between Marion County residents and what they enjoy, and then the donut county as people have moved out into the donut counties. So I think more and more people are like, wait a minute, like people are moving into the donut counties, and I do think that most of the donut counties' tax dollars do go into Lucas Oil. But I just think that in general, Rob, we have become a society that has become more financially aware of where our tax dollars go. And I think that people have finally realized, and listen, I make my living talking about sports, and I'm very grateful for it. But the reality is, and I know this, in the grand scheme of life, sports is a luxury and not a necessity. And we now tangibly have evidence to our eyes in Marion County of areas where the infrastructure necessity needs financial bolstering, our education, our roads, etc. We didn't have that problem 15 years ago.
Before we let you go, because we promised you we had you on here to talk about the kicker, how big a problem is the kicker for the Colts? Will the new guy, I know you guys in the morning show said this McLaughlin guy who was with us, I think last year, wasn't he, for a while?
2 years ago.
2 years ago is going to be the guy. Where are we at with this? Because I mean, if I were a football player and you're a big, strong, tough dude, you beat the crap out of another, a whole set of guys for the entire game, and it comes down to, some 5'8", 150-pound guy, and I can say that because I'm basically a 5'8", 150-pound guy. That would be pretty annoying that guy can't do his job. You do your job the whole game and you lose.
Well, kickers are like brake pads, right? Like you don't really pay attention to them until all of a sudden they start whistling and messing up. And you're like, man. And so you take it and you're like, how long can I go on this? And like, well, eventually you're going to have to get it replaced. So a kicker is not kicking well for you. You keep convincing yourself that it's going to get out of that funk. But in the case of the Colts, yes, it is. Do games really come down to one play at the end? In reality, they do. Sure, you can look back at it and say, well, in the second quarter, if we'd done this. But when it comes down to it, one guy's tried it out there. He makes a kick, you win. He misses a kick, you lose or you tie. And the Colts found themselves in a position where they didn't think the consistency was there. The brake pad was whistling really loud. They finally had to get it replaced. So they've got two guys. They'll have a kicking competition, so to speak. One will be on the practice squad come Sunday. The other will be elevated. I would assume Chase McLaughlin, because of experience, will get the initial nod, and we'll see whether or not they make changes over the course of the year.
Jake, before you get out of here, one last question and a quick answer.
Okay. That's hard for me to do.
Matt Ryan, one and done, or is he a keeper?
No, I think Matt Ryan will be I don't know that he's a 3-year or more guy, but I do think that he will be a multi-year guy here, and I think that both he and the Colts had that assumption when he signed.
The very fabulous Jake Query. You can hear him weekdays, 107.5, 93.5, The Fan, Kevin, and Query, 7 to 10 a.m. Thank you, my friend.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today, and it's all no charge. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Hey, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith. At Life Church, we are a freedom-loving community dedicated to promoting freedom by boldly and courageously speaking truth. If you're looking for a church home and want to experience freedom, come check out one of our Central Indiana Life Church locations. Our new Pendleton campus grand opening is September 18th, and our Noblesville campus is expanding to 3 Sunday services starting September 25th. For all the details on how to get connected to a Life Church near you, visit our website at lifechurchin.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Lining up to see her one last time. Sunny and 68 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The royal procession earlier this morning bringing Queen Elizabeth II to Westminster Hall, where she will lie in state now for the next 4 days, a service being held in her honor with members of the royal family in attendance, including King Charles. Massive crowds have already descended on London to pay their respects over these next 4 days. President Biden spoke with King Charles today to send his condolences. New details in the search of former President Donald Trump's home show that the feds found a hard drive that they want access to. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
This comes after the judge unsealed additional parts of the affidavit for the search. The documents show agents in June filed the subpoena after a visit to the estate where they saw 50 or more boxes of records in a storage room. The Trump Organization then gave the department a hard drive a few weeks later. In a separate filing, the DOJ has said it has evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room and that there were likely efforts to obstruct the government's investigation. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
I'm Kurt Darling. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Chantilly engagement ring, Caspian sapphire and diamond wedding band, Venus ruby and diamond wedding band. You've got to come to Shane Company to see our uniquely designed rings. Our in-house design team travels the world for inspiration to bring you stunning new styles in every price range. Try on any ring, hold it in your hand and feel its weight. Look closely at it. You'll be amazed with the design and the details. A Shane Company ring looks gorgeous from every angle. Choose from a range of engagement ring styles, from timeless classic rings to decorative floral rings, in platinum, yellow gold, white gold, and our lovely signature shade of rose gold. You'll see our team's passion for beautiful design when you look at our wedding bands as well. The largest selection of high-quality bands for everyone and every budget. Your rings are a symbol of your everlasting love. Visit the store or shop online to find the perfect rings for you.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
I love that high school sports are about so much more than winning.
I couldn't agree more. While the immediate goal might be to win a game or championship, the real purpose of high school sports is to develop good people, not just good athletes. I'm Robert Falcons, a proud South Bend LaSalle Lion.
And I'm Carrie Rosati, a proud Roncalli Royal. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
In education-based athletics, we care just as much about how student athletes are performing in the classroom as we do about how they're performing on the playing field.
That's because high school sports are a tool to build the character of student athletes, not just their athletic skills.
Developing the whole person rather than just the athlete. That's what high school sports in Indiana are all about.
Support the real purpose of education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is training good athletes. This is developing better people. This is your IHSAA.
Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. Learn more today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Sundown Gardens has fresh fall annuals, including mums arriving weekly. Save the date for the fall open house, September 17th, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
AES Indiana recently shared an update regarding the fuel adjustment charge impacting customers' bills.
Now, what is AES Indiana?
It's the electricity.
Okay, so
Power.
The way it
Energy.
works is and everybody I'm sure probably knows this, but just for those who don't, you don't have an option on who your electric provider is. Like, it's not Walmart, Meijer, and Target.
Mm-hmm.
There is no I'll shop around and find the best deal, or in this case, when it comes to electricity, not buy at all. Right? I mean, when you purchased your home, they didn't say, here are your 3 electric providers. Right. Pick the one that works best for you.
Right.
Okay. So that is a government-enabled monopoly. The government sets the utility rules in the state of Indiana and across this country, and they have given in your palatial neighborhood AES total domination over your ability to have electricity, which you cannot live.
Total domination.
Okay, perfect. Great.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to get all that. When government is in charge of things, I just want to set the for this letter you're about to read, that this is a mostly government-created issue because government allows utilities to have monopolies. Go ahead.
So they have put out a fuel adjustment charge.
What is that?
This increase, due to rising fuel costs and market conditions, is 12%.
Oh.
An AES Indiana customer using 1,000 kilowatts of electricity will see a monthly increase of approximately $15.
Okay, so I'd asked you, because usually on your bill it will tell you how much you use. Did you do the math?
I did the homework. I did the math.
Okay, how much did you use?
Last month, I used 1,403 kilowatts.
Okay, so they said 1,000 would result in $15. So basically, give or take, somewhere between $19 and $20 a month, you're going to go up. Now, I can tell you, I have been to Casey's home. While it is not a shotgun shack, it is not an Al Gore-esque mansion with lights and chandeliers and, cavernous space. This is a normal, middle income. It is a multi-story unit, but it is a normal home. I can vouch for all this. So you, Casey, through a government-controlled, it is not run by the government, but it is given its right to essentially rule without competition by the government, has told you that in order to continue to live have a basic necessity given to you, which is electricity, you must now pay them between you average $19 and $20 a month, which comes out to $200 and, again, doing public school math off the top of my head, $240 a year. That is money that is extracted from your pocket, and you are receiving no additional benefit for the extra money being extracted out of your pocket.
Correct. The electricity is not any better. In fact, we're still tripping a breaker a lot. They say the increase went into effect with your September billing period.
Oh.
I vaguely remember them announcing this previously, but if you missed that announcement, this just showed up on your bill.
How many people actually are, because I do this, how many people actually read their bill and understand their bill and would even know that's happening?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you weren't paying attention and this bill came this month because it just went into effect, the bills they just sent out for September, then you'd be surprised.
So see, when Biden says there have been no tax increases under my administration, right there, a decision made by Biden, which is access to energy in this country, which he is choking off based on his policies because he is wed and beholden to a bunch of green dream, pie in the sky, radical leftist maniacs, is going to cost you $240 additional per year. This is $240 additional per year you were not paying when Donald Trump was president.
You know what's fascinating is when I took out the bill and I did a little history on it, I did some looking into it. In April, I paid $92.
Oh.
And I know this is partly because of air conditioning.
Sure.
This will tell you what air conditioning will do for you. In August, the bill was $189.
Oh.
So that's $100 more.
Yeah.
To keep it cool.
I once did this, and it is amazing when you were younger, you look back on things and realize how stupid you actually were. But one year I decided I was going to see how long I could make it I had a 2-bedroom apartment, which, by the way, I was paying, this was from 2010 to 2014. And the only reason I had to get out of that place, and I wept openly, was because I got Bruce, my English bulldog, and they would not allow me to have a dog on the premises because I paid $625 a month, Casey, for a 2-bedroom apartment in Brownsburg for 4 years.
Wow.
I would consider doing a lot of things for these days for $625 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Anyway, I decided
That's welcome moderation.
Yes, towards the end of my 20s, I decided to see how frugal I could be and how long I could make it without air conditioning for an entire year. And I made it, I believe, towards the end of June. And I remember the night I had to turn it on. I had all the windows open, and as I had for quite some time, and it was like I was just beside myself that I had to turn the air conditioning on. But after multiple times of having to leave my house and go outside, and it wasn't getting any better, I realized someone was going to find me dead on the floor if I didn't turn it on.
Well, I think it's interesting. So, like last month, 1,400 kilowatts, and then it went up to 1,483. So, I must have left a light on somewhere longer or kept ticking that AC down.
We have a saying in our house, and I have to remind my wife of this all the time because she is a light lever oner.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to look at her when I will come home and there will be a light on in the bathroom or somewhere else. I will ask this. I will say, who left this light on in here?
That's so passive aggressive of
and
you.
Then
knowing the answer,
I will get some vague answer. I guess that was me or something to that extent. And then I will tell her, and she knows the saying, and I will say to her, what is our saying? Electricity is like freedom. It's not free.
Nice. Let's talk about this nursing home. I think this will get us right in the spirit before Hammer gets in here. This nursing home hired a stripper for their senior citizens that were in wheelchairs. They've since apologized for it. This was a state-run facility for retired Army personnel, and they paid the adult entertainer for a steamy show to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. Now, I will tell you, this happened in Taiwan, and they were celebrating this Mid-Autumn Festival, which is part of the Chinese culture where they gather to celebrate rice and the wheat harvest of the season, right? But nothing says autumn like a pair of headlights, huh?
Okay, so there's a video up. The New York Post, by the way, has this story with the full video of the Taiwanese. Am I saying that correctly? Is it Taiwanese?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Taiwanian? Taiwanese. Okay.
Sure.
Stripper.
Today.
Performing. Now, she still has all of her clothes on. She's wearing a mask, so she's very... I love this. She's doing lap dances for these poor old people, and she's wearing a mask.
I've got that here, too.
But she does have her clothes on. She is covered. Here's the deal. Okay. Many of these people appear to be in their, I don't know, probably 80s or 90s. Many of them on, what looks to be like oxygen or have tubes hooked up to them. Mm-hmm. We wish the best for them, but they may not have a lot of time left. What's the big deal?
Let them have a good time.
Just, these are veterans. I mean, these were all veterans. Mm-hmm. It's part of the deal to be in this place. They served their country.
Let them motorboat for a minute.
I wasn't going to say that. But...
Get the defibrillator ready. The entertainment's coming in.
Let's bring Hammer in here, shall we?
Yeah, he's up next. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
The Wall Street Journal reports home sales across the country are down on average 20% from this time last year. There is only one agent I would trust with selling my home during a market slowdown, and that is Mark Dietel. Maybe you're worried you missed the boat on selling for maximum price. Mark Dietel guarantees multiple offers on your home in 3 days or it's listed for free. Get maximum convenience and maximum sales price. Listen to what Bruce and Carol in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. It was finally time to downsize, and it was important to us to grab as much equity as possible. We were nervous as we heard the market was slowing. Mark assured us we could get the price we needed, and he delivered. We got multiple offers in a few weeks, and we sold for $20,000 over asking. Call the agent I recommend and trust. Mark Dietel guarantees multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or it's listed for free. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com.
I love being a AAA member. It just gives you that peace of mind. I had a dead battery at work. They came out within 45 minutes, got the old one out, put the new one in, and I was on my way. Hey, do you have a travel bucket list? I don't know. Maybe you want to snorkel with the sharks in Bora Bora or run with the bulls in Spain. Look, no matter what you choose, AAA has you covered with their new AAA adventure trips. Let the AAA travel team help find the adventure that's right for you. Adventure awaits with AAA. Learn more at AAA.com/adventure.
And before you pack your bags, make sure you don't leave home without your AAA membership. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, lock your keys in the car. AAA is there for you 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. So before you take off on your next adventure, do yourself a favor and join AAA. Get your AAA membership at AAA.com or call 844-GO, AAA GO, or stop by your local AAA office today.
Tony Katz for Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com, the family-owned business in its second generation of taking care of the roofs of Indianapolis and all over central Indiana. They do full roof replacements, residential or commercial. You've got storm damage, you talk to Moss Roofing. And their financing, they've got a plan that works for everybody's budget. So yes, now is the time to get that roof taken care of. And if you need siding, they work with James Hardy Siding. We're talking about the low maintenance, fully painted, 15-year warranty on the finish, James Hardy Siding. When you go to sell your home, your house is going to be worth more money because you will have increased the value with James Hardy Siding. And it holds up better in the Indianapolis weather. Talk to the family at Moss Roofing today. 317-784-3227. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 784-3227. 784-3227 or online at Moss, MOSS, mossroofing.com.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Schedule that complete health assessment at the Low T Center. They offer the convenience of monitored, self-inject, at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month cash pay, or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near a Low T Center or you need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy. To get started, only your first 2 visits are in person. LowTCenter.com. Book now. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Make sure you follow WIBC on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for your chance to win tickets, other prizes, and stay up to date on the most current news in Indy. Head to the WIBC contest page online and register for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons take the stage on Thursday, September 22nd at the Murat Theater at Old National Center.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Discover how to save more of your hard-earned money. Listen to WIBC this Saturday from 5 to 6 a.m. for secure retirement tips from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. This Saturday, 5 to 6 a.m. on WIBC.
He's a radio star, a TV star, an influencer. Hammer's in the studio.
I get yelled at by you during the breaks. And again, we've talked about this before.
I know. I keep doing it.
Because Casey wears her headphones all the time. Like, she never takes them off. She doesn't want to hear Rob, which I understand. But when guests come in, you don't take them off either.
I know.
So we're getting close to coming on the air, and you lean over, I have a question for you! Like, as loud as you can. Scaring the bejesus out of me, lady.
Well, that's okay. You made me nervous yesterday when you were in here. You and Rob were going at each other pretty hard.
That's just the day that ends in Y.
Yeah, and by the way, we made up, we're going to be on TV together on Sunday.
Yeah, what's going on?
So this Sunday for my NFL betting show, the normal co-host is out. Scott Long's got to go do comedic stuff. So Rob Kendall will be filling in. So it'll be myself, Danielle McConnell, and on Sunday, Rob Kendall breaking down all of your NFL action.
Well, that'll be fun.
I'll have to learn all about the sports teams before Sunday to have some educated picks. I've already got one that I'm locked in on. I'm lasered in on. I was reading last night. It's going to shock people, but I think it's going to make a lot of money.
The Washington Generals. I thought they were due. You're going to be Krusty the Clown in that Simpsons episode.
So it is Sunday, 11 a.m., is that right?
Noon to 1.
Noon to 1, yes.
So we do Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Saturday is a college football only show, and that takes you right up to kickoff 11 to noon. And then on Sunday, NFL only show, taking you right up to kickoff, noon to 1.
And Hammer got mad at me last time because I always try to dress very nice on TV. I want to be respectful of, in this case, Wish TV. And
Sure.
I basically got my clothes from the Phil Sanchez collection. And Hammer got very mad last time that I wore a suit and a tie to television.
I thought you normally wear a jacket, don't you?
A blazer with a shirt. That's what they ask. But you don't need to look like you're going to the funeral for the Queen. That's what you dressed like last time.
Hammer was like, God, Rob, you're so skinny and charismatic and good looking.
That's what he said. I'm sure.
Those were the words I think came out of my mouth at some point. Yeah, sure.
Think dressy, but a little edgy.
Right,
because
we're going to be drinking and they bring in food, and it's a tailgate on the TV, and we're going to try to make some money.
I think maybe I'll bust out the retro Hammer and Nigel, this guy pees sitting down shirt. Are we still allowed to wear those over at Wish TV?
I wore it for the Super Bowl, remember? I had the sleeves cut out. It was Nigel's shirt because I can't find mine, and the sleeves are cut out because, of course, they are. And I took the blazer off, and I brought Scott a drink, and right there on Wish TV, this guy pees sitting down with the Arrow shirt.
I miss those Hammer and Nigel car washes you guys used to have. Those were great.
Hey, speaking of new shirts, is this a new one? Because I haven't seen this one in the collection yet, and I'm wondering if this is a new slimmed-down wardrobe choice.
Now, this is actually one that sometimes I would wear under a blazer.
Okay.
But I feel like I've kind of hit a rut with my wardrobe, but I don't want to go buy new clothes. So I didn't want to wear a T-shirt today, and I just threw this on.
Your wife is a bargain hunter. She's the coupon lady, will she be on today?
She will be on today.
Part of the show. Can she find discounts on clothes like she does everything else?
I will bring that up to her.
I would be
because I never ask for any clothes. That's why she never goes out and looks for it. Like I've had the same clothes for like 5 years.
Well,
right?
isn't that part of the thing with inflation right now? You have to make your wardrobe stretch longer. I mean, I'm rocking the same look for the past 3 years now.
Yeah,
but it works for you.
Yeah, it looks fine. Like I think my T-shirts are they're kind of distinctive, right? That there's a Norm Macdonald T-shirt, there's an IBC T-shirt, and if I wear the same thing over and over again, it's like, you kind of get into a rut.
Right.
So I'm kind of mixing and matching some of the casual stuff with like the dad shorts here.
You made a good point last night in the group message that you sent out. ESPN2 is really scraping the bottom of the barrel for programming.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel was the best night ever last night. Are you kidding me?
That was ridiculous.
So on ESPN2 last night, back to back, they had the breakdancing championships.
Fantastic.
They called it the World B-Boy Championship.
The what?
World B-Boy, followed by professional axe throwing. Like, that was a block of entertainment last night on ESPN2.
You watched this?
I couldn't get enough of the axe throwing. It was amazing because they had like a referee, and it looks like some dude who they just threw a jersey on in the crowd who's, just chugged a couple beers. And
Right.
he's got like, baggy jeans on. And he just kind of walks out there. Point. Like, the whole thing was fascinating. And these dudes are really good. They throw these damn axes across the room and they hit these bullseyes.
So that probably went from some trim, athletic breakdancing people to, as you mentioned, bigger,
A bunch of people you would see at a
dudes.
Mumford & Sons concert.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So here's my question to you, Casey.
Yeah.
Let's say that 23-year-old Casey is single and she's out at the bar. There's this big, red-headed, red beard, big, strong, burly dude that walks in and says, I compete in professional axe throwing. Does that separate him from, say, Rob Kendall, who's got, like a khaki pair of pants on and he's threatening to turn off your water?
I think axe throwing looks fun. I'd like to try it.
Like, is that a conversation starter? Does that separate him? Like, if all things are equal, do you say, this guy's got a good job, this guy's kind of handsome, but he's an axe thrower?
Well, I was going to say, do I get to do a follow-up question? Do you make a lot of money doing that?
I'm going to say no. I mean, most sports that you can do in like redneck bars, you probably don't get rich doing. I'm sure maybe somebody does.
Remember the golden days of ESPN, though, when the mornings before SportsCenter, there were workout videos on the beach, and then they had World's Strongest Man competition, like on a loop to fill program time?
Dude, Denise Austin wearing those tight clothes early in the morning, that was a go-to. And then you had the World's Strongest Man contest where 8 out of every 10 contestant was named Magnus. There was like Magnus Van Magnuson, Magnus L. Magnusson. Like, all these dudes were named Magnus, every one of them.
Oh, man.
I think the axe throwing, That may be a scary thing as well.
All right, so here's a follow-up question for you. Let's say you have just met a guy that you're dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, it's early in the relationship. And he says, hey, I've got tickets for the World Breakdancing Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go out and have a night out? Would you go?
Yeah.
I think I would too. It was crazy.
It'd be
It was
fun to
wild.
watch.
And the fact that there's a referee for both of these is amazing.
Hammer, I've been to the World Lumberjack Championships.
Really?
So breakdancing sounds kind of fun.
There's a log joke in there somewhere.
Probably.
It's coming up this afternoon.
Hey, Casey Daniels will join us, the side piece. We've got the crazy coupon lady and Tony Kennett. All of that in the big stories of the day.
All right, thanks, Hammer. It's 93 WIBC.
Verizon Connect has a new AI dash cam with dual cameras. It's sleek, simple, and easy to install. Oh, and did I mention, it's AI smart. It'll give your team real-time alerts.
Tailgating.
And each video is automatically classified and sent to your team, giving you context to help coach your drivers. Best yet, it seamlessly works in one platform that tracks your vehicles, dispatches jobs, and much more. See how Verizon Connect can help manage your fleet at VerizonConnect.com/radio.
So when it comes to Galaxy Concrete Coatings, we've been talking a lot about the garage, but they do driveways, walkways, around your pool, even your patio. And there are so many different colors to choose from. You can make sure that it matches the siding of the house, or maybe go in the total opposite direction and get a totally different look. Call them today, 317-751-9070, or they're online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com. They're taking concrete out of this world. It'll look fabulous. Trust me. Call them today, Galaxy Concrete Coatings.
This is a call to the self-starters, to the self-made, and the self-sufficient. It's time to declare a new kind of independence. Because Edelman Financial Engines is here to provide tailored investment solutions for your kind of wealthy. You should expect more from your wealth advisors. Our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research, and our planners don't sell products to earn commissions. And because we're here for those who question the answers, we model more than 38,000 securities so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. So no matter where you're going next, see what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines. Built for those who built themselves.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spinecare to learn more.
Are you ready for week 2 of Thursday Night Football? Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Very simple. Bet on LA or Kansas City to win. If your team leads by 7 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use promo code WIBC to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code WIBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only. Bonus issued is free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialist can handle any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Help B Window fight ovarian cancer. During September, B will donate up to 1% of sales to help fight ovarian cancer. This is Pam Favor, bwindow.com for symptoms and details.
Trust me.
Coming up in 2 minutes, one expert talks about what you should plan for based on the latest inflation numbers and the new plan for IPS going forward. That and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
Sorry for your loss. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. President Biden, the White House says, has spoken with England's new King Charles today to offer condolences on the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. In London, after a procession from Buckingham Palace with the king and other members of the royal family walking behind a horse-drawn hearse, the Queen's casket is now at Westminster Hall.
The Queen will lie in state for 4 days until her funeral on Monday. This evening, the public will begin filing past the coffin to pay their respects, which will go on 24 hours a day. People are being warned that they may have to wait in line for hours.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Don Bolduc wins the Republican primary for Senate in New Hampshire. He campaigned in part on claims that Donald Trump really won the 2020 election. Bolduc's trying to win incumbent Democrat Maggie Hassan's seat. At the Justice Department's request, more of the affidavit used to get a search warrant on former President Trump's Florida home has been made public.
New details show agents during the FBI's search of Mar-a-Lago obtained a hard drive issuing a subpoena to get surveillance footage inside former President Donald Trump's home. The documents show agents in June filed the subpoena after a visit to the estate where they saw 50 or more boxes of records in a storage room. The Trump Organization then gave the department a hard drive a few weeks later. In a separate filing, the DOJ has said it has evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room and that there were likely efforts to obstruct the government's investigation. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
A 17-year-old girl in Iowa who stabbed her accused rapist to death 2 years ago is sentenced to 5 years probation and ordered to pay $150,000 to his family. The restitution is mandatory under Iowa state law. The sentence is part of Piper Lewis's agreement to plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter charges. He had been charged with first-degree murder, made to have sex with other men by a man who took her in as a runaway. She said in a statement in court, "My spirit has been burned, but it still glows through the flames." America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's still high. It is sunny and 71 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling from Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 11:02. What will have a substantial impact on inflation and bringing your costs down is raising interest rates, says Ball State economist Mike Hicks.
So if we raise interest rates, and the pace we're raising now is 75 basis points or 0.75% every 6 weeks or so. At that rate, we're beginning to see it biting into demand.
But he tells Wish TV you should expect about half of those inflated prices to be permanent. Gas prices keep going down, though. $3.75 is the average price for gas across the state today, says Gas Buddy. Some schools in the Indianapolis Public School District could be closing, says Superintendent Dr. Alicia Johnson.
I know that this will cause disruption, and as your superintendent, I own that.
If the plan is approved, some of the schools will be consolidated or closed by the end of this school year. The district would also eventually be divided into zones to help with school choice, she says. The list of school closures and other proposed items at WYBC.com. In Mishawaka, a 61-year-old man got a beating that lasted several hours. Chris Davis reports police found meth in the apartment where the woman was arrested.
Police say he was lured to Mariah Kahn Wilhelm's apartment with a text saying she and her baby were in danger. It was actually he who was in danger. When he got there, police say they fought. She whacked him with a skillet, tied him up and chained him up, and then put a ball gag in his mouth and laid into him, working him over for several hours, breaking several bones. He couldn't get away until the next day. That was last week. Now the woman's been arrested for the beating and the forced overnight stay. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And Alex Palou is staying in IndyCar. Palou has agreed with Chip Ganassi Racing to stay with the team for the 2023 season, ending a months-long legal battle between them involving McLaren Racing. The deal also allows Palou to split time as a Formula One testing driver for McLaren. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WYBC.com.
Tony Katz for Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com, the family-owned business in its second generation of taking care of the roofs of Indianapolis and all over central Indiana. They do full roof replacements, residential or commercial. You've got storm damage, you talk to Moss Roofing. And their financing, they've got a plan that works for everybody's budget. So yes, now is the time to get that roof taken care of. And if you need siding, they work with James Hardy Siding. We're talking about the low maintenance, fully painted, 15-year warranty on the finish, James Hardy Siding. When you go to sell your home, your house is going to be worth more money because you will have increased the value with James Hardy Siding, and it holds up better in the Indianapolis weather. Talk to the family at Moss Roofing today. 317-784-3227. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 784-3227. 784-3227 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 14th, and things that are trending this hour. Queen Elizabeth's funeral. She is currently lying in state, and there is a 5-mile queue to view her coffin. Also trending, Robert Sarver. He is the owner of the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, and he has been suspended for 1 year plus fined $10 million. This is involving an investigation that found that he had engaged in what the league called workplace misconduct and organizational deficiencies. Also trending is the North American International Auto Show. It kicks off in Detroit tomorrow. The Chrysler brand says that they are paying tribute to the end of an era, as the Chrysler 300 will no longer be in production. It is the lone sedan that Chrysler currently offers.
Okay, so can I make a point? What was the first topic that you had on your trending there? That was the Queen, right?
The 5-mile queue.
The 5-mile line to see the Queen. So we walked last night about 2.1 miles around the town of Brownsburg.
Good for you.
And it was a rather long excursion. I realize people walk much more than that, but I'm trying to picture almost triple that to stand in line, to not even see the person, but see a casket. Now, there is a thing making its way across the internet now that I wanted to post, and I looked this up, and indeed it is a real story. Newsweek ran this story back in 2008, so you got to always check with things on the internet. But this is how ridiculous the idea is, and I'm going to keep hammering that home as long as I am forced to be subjected to this stuff through whenever this thing wraps up. I'm going to remind people of how ridiculous this whole thing is. The idea of a king and a queen, and the idea that we anoint these people based on bloodline, that they're automatically these high and mighty great rulers, they're infallible people, that you should stand in line for 5 miles to see them. So in 2008, and again, Newsmax ran the story, you can see it for yourself, did a genealogy search to try to figure out who would be the king of America had George Washington accepted to be king? Because there were people who wanted to make him king, and he turned it down.
Right.
So in 2008, they did they did through a genealogy search and the bloodline and the ascension, who would be the king of America right now?
Ooh, fascinating.
And so you're probably thinking to yourself, based on the way the Brits do it, these infallible, higher than everyone people, would be some great military general or a titan of industry and business, or a great philanthropist or whatever. So this guy's name was he was 82 at the time, Paul Emery Washington of Texas, and they listed him as a retired regional manager for a building supply company.
There you go. Hotel manager.
And again, Newsweek did an entire expose on this at the time. You can read the story for yourself. If you all I did was put Paul Emery Washington into the search machine.
Does it say how many generations they had to go to get that?
I would have to read that. That would be rather interesting. It's not that far, because if he was 82 in 2008, that would mean he would have been born in the 1920s. is that right? 1920s, 1926-ish. No, my math is way off on that. Sorry. Anyway, regardless, and nothing against this guy, right? I'm sure he lived a fine, productive, happy life. I am not in any way.
But his life would have been completely different had George Washington said, yes, I'd like to be monarch.
Right. And there's clearly nothing. It's not, you're not better than anyone or holier than anyone, or what is the thing they say, has a direct line to God, or whatever the thing is with the
anointed.
I'm sorry. Yes. The Pope is the one with the direct line to God, who's also appointed by a bunch of old men in a room. The whole thing's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous what we bestow upon these people. Why didn't people do that for Paul Emery Washington?
They didn't know how special he was. It's 10 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and a majority of voters say Republicans have not made a strong enough case to earn their support in the November midterm elections. This is according to a new survey. This is with Trafalgar, so you know it's good because they're normally pretty correct. 56% of people said Republicans have not done enough. And you say that all the time. What have they done to earn your vote?
There's nothing the Republican Party is offering society right now in terms of the elect us and we will that would inspire anyone to vote. And people like to vote for something. You think about the last two times people have been super excited to vote for a Republican. 1994, the contract with America, and 2016 with Donald Trump, Make America Great Again. Whether you agreed with the contract with America and the things included in there, which, by the way, the contract to America was the backbone to immense prosperity in this country for many, many years, and the Clinton economy really took off when Republicans got the House and forced Clinton to do many of the things they put in the contract with America. Or Donald Trump in 2016, they stood for something. Vote for me and I will. And sometimes you win based on the other side just being bad. I mean, the Republicans did that in 2000, well, even in 2010. Vote for us and we will repeal Obamacare. Right? There's nothing the Republicans are offering anyone right now other than we will fight Joe Biden.
Didn't we see an article last week from Kevin McCarthy saying something along the lines of the contract with America?
Right.
He was proposing something like that. And I believe my note to you was, well, good. At least somebody is giving the Republicans their talking points, because it can't just be, we're not Joe Biden.
But it's too late at this point. Like and we were talking about this over the summer. Remember, we were saying, look, the Republicans need to have something that you can fit on a napkin that people will recognize. If you vote for us, we will fill in the blank and make it 3 or 4 simplistic things that people can get their head around. I tell people all the time when they're running for public office, especially new candidates, if you can't fit it on a napkin, scrap it. Because the attention span of the average person, I always tell people door
is shrinking.
I tell people when they do door hangers, do them big, 3 or 4 points, because you have the 15 seconds from when I get it off my door to when I put it in the trash, and I will associate you with whatever. And the Republicans have not done that. You'll investigate Biden. What does that mean for me? We'll come after Hunter Biden. What does that mean to the average person? The Republicans have not laid out a blueprint. Now, they'll still probably win the House. They may win the Senate because the Democrats have been so bad. But it really sucks, Casey. I don't know how you feel about this, to vote against something rather than to vote for someone.
Oh, yeah. No, most people would rather vote for something. This is what I stand for, instead of, I'm not Bernie Sanders. I mean, isn't that why Hillary Clinton got as far as she did?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I think about like the people that I will be voting for this fall. Obviously, I'll be voting for Jeff Moore in the Secretary of State's race as the Libertarian, because not only is Diego horrific and awful, but the Libertarian is a really good candidate. He stands for really good things. I feel good that if he were the Secretary of State, he would not revoke business licenses if the next time Lockdown McGee gets frisky and wants to shut down the state. I feel good about that person. Now, U.S. Senate, I like James Siniak. He's a nice guy. He's a smart guy, the Libertarian running. But that vote, for me, is almost entirely against Todd Young. I really desperately wish we had a Republican in the United States Senate I could vote for. I cannot in good conscience ever vote for Todd Young. So I feel a little bit different. They're both great guys, but you feel uber passionate about someone when you're voting for someone versus, well, I'm just going to vote against this person.
So that guy doesn't win. Right. Well, there's this new Harvard-Harris poll, and it says that most Americans don't want Trump or Biden to run in 24. 2/3 of voters surveyed, 67%, said that Biden shouldn't seek another term. And then 57% said that Trump shouldn't seek another bid.
This is a two-party system in America and what it's produced. You have the two front runners, including the previous president and the current president, and overwhelmingly the majority of Americans don't want either of them. If you are a person who is on the fence and needs a reason to consider looking for something different or doing something different, how much worse does it have to get from these two parties? They're front runners, they're standard bearers. No one likes either of them.
Right. 30% of people said this is why they don't want Biden in office. He's too old for the job. And then they asked, okay, well, why don't you want Trump in office? Because he's erratic.
So you've got a guy that's too elderly and a guy that's too erratic.
Too erratic. And who is the front runner then? DeSantis is the clear favorite.
The Republican Party, and if you, again, and this will make people mad, I know we got to get to a break, but every time I say it, it enrages people, but it's reality. Ron DeSantis, especially if he wins this Florida governor's race, which he will by 5 or more points, is the absolutely perfect candidate right now for the Republican Party to run for president. He's not only perfect in terms of, or near perfect in terms of what you would want policy-wise, but the look, the family.
He's not erratic.
The background, the behavior.
The resume,
He is almost an A-plus candidate on everything. Only the Republican Party would throw away an A-plus candidate for an F candidate. And Donald Trump, just like Joe Biden, is an F candidate. I'm sorry that's going to enrage people, but Donald Trump this is how he's perceived. He is erratic. He is unpredictable. He is unlikable. Why would you pick that again when you can get policy-wise someone who's even better and is none of those things?
Lindsey Graham has proposed a new law. He wants it to be a national law, and we're going to talk about that coming up on 93 WIBC. Plus, we're going to hear Joe Biden lie to you.
When traffic's a bear, Matt Bear is a beast.
On the north side, 465 East is a parking lot for Meridian. Also, we have slow traffic from 82nd Street all the way up to 860.
When you need to get from here,
if you're coming in from Hamilton County, it's gonna be tough
to there.
Into bridge construction at 465 and 60.
Matt Bear, mornings and afternoons.
It's gonna be tough getting home tonight, but you'll be binge watching Stranger Things before too long.
93 WIBC.
Guys, if you need an annual health exam, check out the Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They'll check all of your levels, not just your T level. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance. And if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for a full lab panel and office visit with the medical provider. And they give you a complete health assessment. Low T Center, specializing in men's health. Go to lowtcenter.com right now. Book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith. At Life Church, we are a freedom-loving community dedicated to promoting freedom by boldly and courageously speaking truth. If you're looking for a church home and want to experience freedom, come check out one of our Central Indiana Life Church locations. Our new Pendleton campus grand opening is September 18th, and our Noblesville campus is expanding to 3 Sunday services starting September 25th. For all the details on how to get connected to a Life Church near you, visit our website at lifechurchin.com.
It's the best offer of the year at Diamonds Direct. 5 years, zero interest financing. And this weekend, the focus is on Christopher Designs. Handcrafted in New York, Christopher is one of the only bridal designers that offers a patented diamond cut, the L'Amour cut. We've flown in the entire Christopher Designs collection for this special event. So come and create a ring as unique as you are this Friday and Saturday. And enjoy 5 years, zero interest financing on any purchase on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
When a nasty cold keeps you up all night, Vicks NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night that sounds like this into a night that sounds more like this. Ah, that's better. NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold, medicine. Use as directed.
Help B Window fight ovarian cancer. During September, B will donate up to 1% of sales to help fight ovarian cancer. This is Pam Favor, bwindow.com for symptoms and details.
Trust me.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. It could smell crazy on him.
And Casey Daniels.
If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
On 93 WIBC.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham introduced a bill. It was a nationwide abortion ban after 15 weeks. This sent shockwaves through both parties. And here we go again, talking about this topic.
So Lindsey Graham, I'm going to play you this because I'm really torn on this, Casey. Because on one hand, I love that Lindsey Graham put forward it's a put up or shut up, right? It's an idea of saying, look, supposedly the majority of Americans say that abortion should be illegal after 15 weeks, the second trimester, as it's known. Okay, let's find out how radical the Democrats actually are, and let's get them on record. There's one side of that I love. I also love the fact that he gets asked, you'll hear this in this clip, about whether he asked Mitch McConnell about this or told him about it or not, and basically said Mitch McConnell can kiss his backside. He didn't ask permission for him. I love that. There is part of me, though, for two reasons. I say, one, there's no way this is getting a vote this year. So all you're going to do at this point, it's like every time the Republicans have an opportunity to play offense, they say, no, why would we want to play offense? Here's the puck, other team. Let's get back on defense because that's where we're best at. This is pointless to put up right now. It's not getting a vote. It's not going to be talked about other than to deflect off the issue, which is the economy, which Biden is super vulnerable on. That should be all they should be talking about right now, because you're not going to get this thing passed. You're not going to get a vote. Get the Congress, get the Senate, get the ability to put this on the floor, then talk about it.
Right. There's no way. There's no way it would pass under current conditions.
And the other part of this is, and Tony was talking about this morning, this is not a federal issue. The Supreme Court was very clear where this should lie, which is the states.
Right.
It will properly lie in the states. If New York wants abortion from conception to live birth, as abhorrent and awful and as ridiculous and pathetic and tragic as I think that is between the people of New York and their elected officials. If Indiana wants a pretty good abortion law, which it passed, not great, but pretty good.
Which starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and we're going to have Abdul on tomorrow because we're going to talk about the lawsuit that's going on with that, and we'll try to figure out where that's at. Then that's between us and our elected officials, which is the way it's supposed to be based on the system of governance we have and the way it is set up. So let's play Lindsey Graham talking about this bill that he's proposing that would ban abortion after 15 weeks at the federal level.
Graham, can I just follow up with her question about whether you've spoken to Leader McConnell about this legislation?
Yeah, have y'all spoken to him?
Have you?
Yeah, they've spoken to him. Yeah. No, I like Mitch, but no, I just sort of spoke to the ladies behind me, and they said, "Would you go from 20 to 15 weeks?" I said, "Yeah," and here we are. Thank y'all very, very much.
So I don't know if he's being facetious when he said he changed it from 20 to 15 because a group of people told him to do that. With Graham, you never know because he changes his mind as often as he changes his underwear. So who knows? But why now? Like, are you trying? I mean, it's like somebody's handing you the ball, Casey, wide open underneath the basket. And all I have to do is put the ball in the goal, and you go, no, I'd rather go back there and shoot a three-pointer.
You're saying that he's taking the party off focus too quickly near the election.
The states are dealing with this issue, which is the intent and the way it should happen anyway. This does nothing to further the conversation. It only allows Biden to deflect off what a horrific job he's doing running the economy and try to inspire a bunch of people who otherwise wouldn't vote to come out and vote on his behalf.
I don't like the way he sounded really nonchalant in that audio clip that you just played. I do like the fact that he entertained female input.
Well, women should control everything, so good job.
He sounded very tired, and I understand that because it is an exhausting subject to talk about.
But it doesn't have to be, Casey. That's the point. He's making it an exhausting subject. It shouldn't be a subject for his jurisdiction, period.
And that's what the Supreme Court said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let the legislature in Indiana take the slings and arrows. Let the legislature in Mississippi or Oklahoma take the slings and the arrows. Why, when you've got all these super vulnerable or close races, whether it's Herschel Walker or the guy in Arizona or New Mexico or Pennsylvania, Oz, you've got all these people who are trying to claw in and around, the mainstream national media actively working against them, a whole baby of issues. Why would they could have played offense yesterday. Yesterday should have been an offensive day for the Republicans. Biden lied to you again. He failed you again.
He's having a party with James Taylor about the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yep.
And instead, Lindsey Graham comes and takes the spotlight off of that by reintroducing this other topic. He said that it would put the U.S. on par with many other European countries and around the world. And you and I have talked about this before, that if, and I know you love this word, that if moderate Americans are okay with the 15-week, will that save lives in the long run?
Right.
And if that's the goal, put up or shut up.
So Lindsey Graham is trying to deflect off the slam dunk home run win for the Republicans, but we will save the Republicans from themselves, because all you should care about when you wake up today is how much Biden lied to you and screwed you again. And shall we just play a minute and 9 seconds of the Biden administration being wrong about inflation?
Let's go down memory lane. It's like when I first started working with you, Rob, and that word transitory was so popular.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
Over the last couple of months, we actually saw it trended downward.
President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, enthusiastically retweeted an economist who had said in part most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, supply chains, etc., are high-class problems.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
That's all you should talk about. Every Republican, and free unsolicited advice, because I'm sure Herschel Walker will hear this show, and it will be at the forefront of his thinking, or the guy in Arizona. No matter what question you get asked, do not get off the economy. No matter what question it is, do not get off the economy and inflation. Unless, of course, you're Todd Young and you actually caused the inflation and the crash of the economy. Then you probably wouldn't
talk about
that.
anything else.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
But everybody but Todd Young, do not get off inflation and the economy.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Oh no, there's water everywhere.
Dad, a pipe broke. My poor carpet.
We need a plumber.
And fast. Roto-Rooter does plumbing. We need somebody to clean up this water. And Roto-Rooter does water cleanup.
As soon as I can find the phone in all this water, I'm calling a bunch of people.
I told you, Roto-Rooter does both. 1-800-GET-ROTO.
Wait, Roto-Rooter does plumbing?
And water cleanup? Yeah, they do both. 1-800-GET-ROTO.
What's their number?
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go
troubles down the drain.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
This is another ad about hiring. But it's not just another ad about hiring. R.E. Diamond & Associates has opened a special position for the right person. If you or someone you know is just out of college or is in college studying electrical engineering or a related field, this job may be perfect for you and your future career growth. You'll get hands-on experience with lighting and power technology. You'll learn real-world skills like building design, utilizing 3D modeling with Revit, and you'll get competitive pay with a benefits package while doing it.
Hi, this is James Darnell. I'm the Vice President of Information and Communications Technology with R.E. Diamond & Associates. Our expertise, integrity, and organizational culture make us a great place to start a career. Our staff averages 16 years with the company, and the majority of our clients are repeat ones. We emphasize service and respect for our customers, one another, and our environment.
To find out more, Google R.E. Diamond. That's R.E. Diamond. Or to speak with an R.E. Diamond representative, call 317-634-4672.
My name is Taylor McLean, and my brother saved 5 lives. In 2016, when my brother, Hoosier race car driver Brian Clausen, tragically died in a racing accident, he became a hero because of his decision to be an organ donor. That decision has inspired countless others to do the same.
All of it was such a story, and the way it all connected together, every layer of it.
NASCAR champ Ryan Newman sat down with Indiana Donor Network and shared what inspired him to join the Driven to Save Lives movement.
The reality was he did a great thing, but the chain of events and how it affected other people, I believe, made him a legend. Made him somebody special, even more special than just being a race car driver, than just being a friend or a family member. When you're giving like that, you become legendary.
Join the movement and sign up as an organ donor at driventosavelives.org.
The bidding wars are ending, and it's officially a buyer's market. So what are you waiting for? Ready to get pre-approved? Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
gathers interior and exterior home improvement experts
ready to turn your dreams into reality.
September 23rd through 25th at Grand Park.
SuburbanIndieShows.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Now it's the public's turn. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. A service welcoming the coffin of Queen Elizabeth II at Westminster Hall in London. There, she will lie in state for the next 4 days as the British public will be able to pay their respects to the late ruler of the UK. President Biden spoke with King Charles III this morning to offer his condolences. Biden and the First Lady will attend the funeral for the Queen set for this coming Monday. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol is preparing for another hearing later this month. Chairman Benny Thompson said Tuesday that the next hearing is expected to take place September 28th. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
So it took place in a dimly lit room. They were drinking bourbon and smoking cigars. The only thing that was missing, Rob,
Yes.
was Tony Katz. He looked like he would have fit right in there. Talking about a conversation that was had between Bill Maher and Aaron Rodgers, and they were pointing out how just about every conspiracy came true during COVID and how the government kept hiding under their beds through lies.
Bill Maher is, as we will often say, sometimes accidentally makes absolutely incredible points. And on the issue of liberty and freedom, he has been pretty good throughout the entire COVID process, even though he is a total left-wing lunatic on most things, of pointing out how bad governments have been in terms of liberty and freedom. And so he had Aaron Rodgers on his program, and they had a very, very good back and forth about just how much the government manipulated and exploited people during COVID.
To me, the frightening thing was never the disease itself. The frightening thing was how much you could get people so quickly to change their way of life. Stay home, wear a mask, don't touch.
It was altruistic at first. It's like, all right, we'll take 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? And then just about every conspiracy theory came true. Vaccine mandates, vaccine passports.
Right.
And it turned into like away from doing your job to stop the spread to like lockdowns. And that's my whole problem. I grew up in a small town with very little cases up in Chico, California, but all the small businesses are gone. I mean, our favorite restaurants in LA and New York and across the country, not just in big cities. Look, some crazy percentage will never open again. Why?
Absolutely.
And then what are we doing for them? What are we doing for the small businesses? There was some PPE loans and stuff that people could file for.
Well, we passed out $6 trillion. And the sad fact about that is that a very big chunk of it was just flat out stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent more to keep people hiding under the bed than we did for World War II. World War II cost $4 trillion, and we passed out almost $6 trillion for this. I mean, wow. Talk about a country that's gone a little soft.
Everything they said is right. It's 100%. And, when we do it, you're very nice and people like you. But when I do it, it's a radical right-wing MAGA semi-fascist who hates democracy, who want a grandma to die. So maybe when super liberal Bill Maher and I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is. He's all over the place. But when they do it, maybe it will resonate with more people. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, whether you're a liberal or a conservative, the government used and abused you and created an environment that not only you will pay for, but generations will pay for because of the stripping away of liberty and freedom, the shutting down of businesses, the magical money printing factory tour that they went on. All of these things were 100% needless and wholly and totally avoidable.
I can't even tell you how polarizing it was for me because I witnessed it on such opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Firstly, in Tallahassee, Florida, I moved there 2 days before the pandemic hit. It was like, do you remember when Tom Hanks came on TV and said that he had COVID? And that's when, that's when it got real.
He was in Australia, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by that weekend, people weren't shaking hands anymore. We were doing the elbow chicken wing to each other. And then little by little, okay, maybe stay home from work. And the flatten the curve thing, right? And spring break travel started getting canceled. And then, the kids aren't going back for school for a while. Florida, it was still pretty open. And then halfway through the pandemic, I moved to Michigan. And that could not have been more opposite on every level, where everything was shut down and the masking and you couldn't go anywhere. It's just incredible. But I mean, they're right. How quickly everybody was able to just comply.
Well, it is fascinating because I sparred vigorously on the air with the two women who had the show before us because they were trying to be good citizens and said, well, it's just the 15 days.
Because we believed it. Why would our government lie to us?
Well,
right?
but and that's the point at the time. And I remember many people in our audience being mad at me. I said, you should, and I told them and I told our audience, and, you should never give the government a fraction of an inch when it comes to your rights as a citizen, because I said it will never end. And 2.5 years later, it has never ended. They have exploited it to the utmost. And when I say they, I'm talking about the government as a collective. Because what Eric Holcomb did, and the Republican Party in Indiana, who has done nothing to stop him after 2.5 years, which is clearly they're complicit in the behavior at that point, is every bit as gross as what Fauci did. They all work in this little soup together, and that's what people need to realize. Todd Young, Eric Holcomb, Anthony Fauci, failed former Surgeon General Jerome Adams, Cuomo in New York, Newsom in California, they all swim in the little soup together. Because Holcomb couldn't have done what he did without Todd Young printing the money to bribe citizens to not work. The reason society went along with it is they conned and snowed, and I don't know how you could be this informed to think this wasn't going to happen, but they did, shows the public education system. Well, I'll do it because I'm getting a check from the government, so I'm being patriotic. Sure, Fred lost his business, won't be able to recover, but I'm being patriotic because the check's in the mail for me. Todd Young couldn't have done that. Holcomb couldn't have done that had Todd Young not bribed him to do it. And Todd Young couldn't have bribed him to do it had Fauci not been out there going, we must do this, or society will be doomed. We will all be dead. There will be mass graves. All these scumbags, Holcomb, Young, Fauci, Jerome Adams, they all swim in the same soup together. None of them ever pays a price for it.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and Alex Jones is set to go on trial for a second time for calling the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting a hoax. He caused several of his victims' families emotional and psychological harm. It's a 6-member jury. They're going to begin hearing evidence on how much he should pay the families. He's already been found liable for damages to them. So this trial is expected to last about 4 weeks, right? How much should he pay? All of it.
Yes, you are 100% right.
Every penny.
This guy, and I am not for forced cancellation. I am for voluntary cancellation. And by that, I mean people walking away from someone, because this guy, and thankfully courts and juries are now beginning to say it with a strong voice like they did in the last trial. This guy is a huckster. He's a fraudster. Nobody should pay attention to him. And I take this, I get so fired up about this. One, I feel bad for these families who are forced to relive the worst day of their entire lives that you would never wish on your worst enemy. But two, he being Alex Jones, makes our job harder because we all get lumped in together. Well, he was a Trump supporter. He was a voice of conservatism. No, he's a lunatic, and he's a conspiracy nut, and he's a provocateur, and he's a fraudster. And we are not him. We're trying to do our job and be professional. That's why our ratings are so great. Thankfully, we're able to overcome this. But this guy paints all of us in a bad light, so I'm glad that hopefully he gets flushed down the toilet and goes back where he came from.
I think the difference is here that, as best we can, our opinions are rooted in facts.
Yes.
Tucker Carlson is a new colloquial.
What?
A new phrase.
It's a big word. For
the January 6th day.
Uh-huh.
He's now calling it an election justice protest.
Oh. It's good. I see what he did there. He's turning it around on the left.
He's rebranding the day.
I see what he did there.
It's no longer an insurrection.
Yep.
It's an election justice protest. He was also railing on Biden and the DOJ. He says that they're purging political opponents.
Take a listen.
So what is this about? It can't possibly be about January 6th, the fake insurrection, the only insurrection in history with no guns. The insurrection in which the only person shot to death was a Trump supporter. No. The point of this is to suppress political dissent, to hobble an entire political party and to keep any of these people from ever participating in American politics again. And by the way, the cost to each one of these individuals or to any person at whose house the FBI shows up is enormous. Ask anybody who's at the FBI showed up with guns at their home what that's like. By accusing these people of insurrection for asking questions about electors, by comparing them to Confederate soldiers, Merrick Garland's DOJ plans to disenfranchise them, if not jail them. Really? So prohibit people from participating in American politics in the name of democracy.
I always love the way he says, really? Really? He's so surprised. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey, I know I'm going to spring this on you.
Yeah.
But you asked me a question yesterday night about...
Oh, but in the Tucker Carlson?
And Tucker Carlson was a part of that answer.
Mhm.
I would be curious to hear who you came up with for this.
Oh, you want to see mine?
Yeah,
you showed me yours. Now I got.
Yes.
You want to see mine?
Can we take a break and then you'll show us yours?
I'll share. I won't show. Yes, that's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today and it's all no charge. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
My name is Kayla Cinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
The reality of owning property is that it can sometimes become a burden. Maybe you own a vacant, condemned, or foreclosed property. Maybe you need to move fast for work or a family emergency. Perhaps you inherited a home, got a divorce, or just can't maintain the home you currently have. Getting free of that burden with cash in hand is easier than you think. Enhanced Property Solutions makes it simple for you to sell your property fast for cash on the date you pick. Any condition. No realtors, no fees, no hassles. EnhancedPropertySolutions.com or call 317-676-2050.
Are you ready for week 2 of Thursday Night Football? Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Very simple. Bet on LA or Kansas City to win. If your team leads by 7 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use promo code WIBC to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code WIBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, Rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spine care to learn more.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Head to the WIBC contest page at WIBC.com to register for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra at Gamebridge Fieldhouse Sunday, December 11th. At WIBC.com, you can stay up to date on local events and see where the Home and Garden Show will be on the road next. Live every Saturday starting at 9. Listen to Pat Denny and the gang on Saturday mornings, 9 to 3, WIBC.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Marian University Preparatory School is a faith-based online private school currently enrolling grades 6 to 9. Financial aid is available. Visit k12.com/Marian, k12.com/MARIAN.
Good morning. It is 10 minutes in front of noon. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So your dream debate, presidential 2024, what would it be? It's we're talking full-scale dream debate, full send. It's a loaded stage. You have to let opposing views in because, you know, the producers want some drama of this TV show.
Yeah, so you had asked me this, and I said, I don't think there's, I would struggle to find 5 people that I care enough about what their actual opinion is.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to limit it to 5 people because 10 is way too much. And we saw, like, during the Republican primary debates, the Democrats, they just start talking over each other, and it's possibly going to word in edgewise. So if I was going to operate, we are doing just any 5 Americans.
See, and that's where we got into some trouble, where we couldn't figure out what our dream debate would be. So do you do just anybody, or do they have to be currently running? Who would you like to see in office?
Yeah, because if I'm going to take it serious, it's different than if I'm just for my own entertainment, because I would pay a sizable amount of money to see Liz Cheney, Mike Pence, and Donald Trump alone on a stage together.
Right.
Perfect.
But you don't really want any of those 3 in office.
No. So, like, if I'm talking about people, I would actually be interested in what is a logical grouping of people together to see them debate and discuss issues of the day that would come from separate political parties. Like, I think Ron DeSantis, Joe Biden, I have long thought Jesse Ventura, and people will laugh when they hear this, would be a phenomenal addition to any debate stage. 1, because he has views that are interesting, and 2, he would be wildly pointed and aggressive with these candidates, which is what we need to have happen in this society. We need, and by wildly aggressive, I don't mean in a violent sense, but I mean not backing off. He would have views that are all over the spectrum, so it would hold both sides accountable. So to me, I think he would be as a third party. So if there is a viable debate stage, DeSantis, Biden, a Jesse Ventura as a part of the equation, I think is super interesting.
You also had Tucker Carlson on your list.
Yes.
And so did I. And I also had DeSantis on my list as well. But from there, I had a really hard time narrowing it down.
Right.
I'd also like to see Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he would do. I think he's extremely entertaining on TV, but without his notes, which he uses. And that's not a knock because I use notes too. I'm just wondering if he would be able to speak fluently and, you know, just from off the top of his head.
Well, you touch on an interesting point because for years and years and years, you've always heard, and whoever the celeb du jour of the day is, which is, oh, wouldn't it be great if The Rock ran for president or Oprah would wow everyone? Well, we've long said the reason those people flirt with the idea, it's Matthew McConaughey. And when Mock was still here, we had this conversation about he was going to run for governor of Texas. I said, no way. Because the idea of Matthew McConaughey running is infinitely greater than once he actually steps on the stage. Because then, all right, doesn't work on abortion.
Right.
Hey, why don't we all get along doesn't work when you're talking about sucking the brains out of a defenseless fetus. Either you're for it or you're against it. Hey, everybody should hug and love each other doesn't work when we're talking about how do you deal with illegal immigration on a southern border state. And so Matthew McConaughey, rightfully so, said, because he needs to be liked, guys that need to be liked, all that goes away once I have to pick a side. I'm not doing that. The Rock's a great example. It's not a wrestling promo. You got to take a stand on Afghanistan. You got, no pun intended, you got to take a stand on the southern border. You got to take a stand on inflation, and know your role, shut your mouth doesn't work. So I think it'd be interesting to have somebody like Rock or Oprah up there so people could actually see how when they don't have a teleprompter,
right,
how generally uninformed and unimpressive they actually are.
So if I had to do my 5 Republicans all together.
Oh, you're just doing Republicans.
I think I would put DeSantis, Nikki Haley on there because I'm a big fan of hers. Tucker Carlson, Mitch Daniels because I would want to hear what he would say. And I still like to hear from Tulsi Gabbard. And
but she's not a Republican.
I know, but that would be a little mix up on there. And then Rand Paul.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that in the mix. I mean, if it's my dream debate, I get to say how many people
Sure,
are on
it's your
stage.
dream, Casey. It's your dream. You can dream whatever dream you want to dream.
Right. All right, we got to go. Thanks, Rob. Good job today, Kylan, and thank you for listening. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hey, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith. At Life Church, we are a freedom-loving community dedicated to promoting freedom by boldly and courageously speaking truth. If you're looking for a church home and want to experience freedom, come check out one of our Central Indiana Life Church locations. Our new Pendleton campus grand opening is September 18th, and our Noblesville campus is expanding to 3 Sunday services starting September 25th. For all the details on how to get connected to a Life Church near you, visit our website at lifechurchin.com.
There's only one company that meets the gold standard in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy. Hey, it's Rob, and I'm here with Darren Andrews. Darren, people are coming from all over the world to We Grow Hair Indy to grow their hair back.
Hey Rob, it's great to be here. Yes, they are. And Rob, as you well know, we are very proud of the technology and the results at We Grow Hair Indy. We Grow Hair Indy is one of only 2 places in the entire US that offers both the Artist Robotic FUE and our trademark procedure, multi-unit hair grafting.
We Grow Hair Indy filled in my crown area and restored the hair on the top of my head. Call 888-724-5129 for a free evaluation. That's 888-724-5129 and grow your hair back. The one company that has the best technology and results. WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard in hair restoration.
The biggest boat and RV sale of the year is back. 3 full days of year-end clearance pricing on new and used inventory. The 33rd Annual Fall Boat and RV Show. It's not a show, it's a sale. September 23rd through 25th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. After September 25th, these deals are gone forever. The 33rd Annual Fall Boat and RV Show. Buy your tickets online and save at indiesportshow.com. Another Renfro production.
People are driving from all over to take advantage of Diamonds Direct's incredible finance offer. For a limited time, you can make any purchase and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Imagine that $4,000 pair of diamond stud earrings for just $68 a month. That $10,000 designer ring for just $168 a month. With this offer, you don't have to compromise. But hurry, this is a limited time offer. 5 years, 0 interest. Start your forever with Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details at diamondsdirect.com. Approved credit.
Those who've built their own financial success know that moving forward requires not just the right tools, but an in-depth knowledge of how to use them. That's why Edelman Financial Engines gives you a dedicated wealth planner supported by a team of experts. We know a modern wealth planning relationship demands human insight powered by advanced technology. Our advice is tailor-made for your personal goals, and our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research. We model more than 38,000 securities, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. See what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines, built for those who built themselves.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
When was the